wants who
I was
wants
very panicked.
yeah, I know, right? Who wants to start off and kind of give a heads up to our poor new players as to what exactly happened last?
How about you,
How
Chris?
long back are we?
Oh, you don't need to go.
So,
You don't need to go too
The
far back.
beginning of cheese.
Just previous session would be fine.
okay, so as far as like what happened on this continent, um, we arrived and came to the city, which we eventually found that was kind of segregated by race between winged Nemesis and wingless Nemesis. Found that the wingless ones were were essentially just slaves out and out, and our uh, do-gooding party was like, well, we gotta clearly wrong this right. We're the best people to solve this issue. So we kind of slipped our escort and found a young kind of family who were all wingless and asked if there was some sort of gathering. They said, "Oh yeah, meet us here at this time," and it told us how dangerous what we're doing is. And then someone overheard us and reported us to the Queen. The Queen assured us that don't even try to lie. That she knows everything. She's been trying to pass legislation in order to kind of ease the problem along slowly, but due to various
That's not
political
us.
kind of situations, we've essentially lit the powder keg, and a full-on
Race war.
citywide revolt, race war, and civil war all took off all at once. We just kind of got out of town real quick and met up with some centaurs who were allied with the city. We kind of rallied the troops there, headed on back, and then devised a plan to uh, essentially impersonate a top-ranking officer and force them to gather up the wingless Nemesi and get them out of the city to a certain location. Which then we ambushed them with the centaurs and saved a good chunk of the wingless population. And then after that, we headed off to find one of the keys that keeps Chronons from being free, and killed off two young blue dragons, I believe.
Yes, young blue
And
dragons.
and then that's when we saw a meteor kind of hurtling out of the sky, a strange meteor dripping a bunch of kind of viscous, uh, deathly ichor from it. And we were heading to the crash site.
That was a beautiful word picture.
Yeah,
Pretty much
yeah,
accurate.
Yeah, it was.
some kind of gross necromancy goop.
Pretty much.
Necromancy bad.
I think we also found out that the god of undeath has been unseated by a lich that we met semi-recently.
Yes.
So that's the thing.
Yes, you guys did find that out. You found out that the giant meteor that was falling to Earth was the actual god Nathan, who is being replaced by Regnum.
So
Wait,
that
what?
whole lot of info.
Yeah.
And we begin our story on our search to go save Nathan from drowning.
More appropriately, just to find him.
Saying Nathan's kind of freaking me out, but I'll roll with it.
Not Nathan, Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Finn.
There we go. I put it in Roll20. That was the original god of the undead, necromancy, so on and so forth. He was replaced by Regnum, who was a lich, a very powerful one, who, through other machinations that were unknown to the poor party, or else they would have stopped it, he did manage to ascend to godhood by challenging Nathan on the material plane and then following him to his own realm and defeating him that way. It's the only way to take a god's title.
Good to know.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Out of character knowledge. No
Good to
metagaming.
eventually find out.
Yes, there we go. The party was headed on their way from the forest area, which is where I just pinged on the map, for those who were paying attention to Roll20, it's the giant forest area that looks like a blob. And they were heading westward past, oh man, I can't even pronounce the name of that town. I'm not even going to try. Sad I created it, but, you know, I can, yeah. Witch.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, I'm a witch. They were heading that way because that's where the giant meteor ended up landing. And we start from there.
Let's go. I guess we'll just keep following drips of ichor.
Yeah, as you guys are flying that way, you do see various spots on the ground that are just purely decayed as you go. And you can see as you pass over the town, apparently some of the blood hit some of the buildings, and they are slowly dissolving in front of you.
Oh, beautiful.
Oops.
Is anyone like hurt by this? Are they any kind of collateral damage?
Roll a perception check.
My favorite.
Can I search for two?
You guys are welcome to do a perception check. The 3 new people, I'll get you in here in a second. No worries.
As a note, since I'm a paladin, if there are injured people, I would be helping them.
Hey, there we go. Wow, Galetus, look at that. And Galahad, holy cow.
Right?
Are we having a weird day, or is it just the new people that give you that extra luck?
It's a good day. It's a
Blue
good
blood's
day.
infusing you with strength.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Usually his perception rolls are really low. Okay, as you guys look down into the town, I'm actually going to make this real easy, and since Sigismund, I hope I'm saying that right, if not, forgive me.
Yep.
Okay, good. Sigismund, Finn, and Snow, you guys happen to come to this little port town for your own various reasons. You guys saw the comet pass by. It was pretty large, and you saw it was dropping things. When you guys finally noticed what was actually happening, you see one giant blob of something hit one of the buildings, and it slowly began to dissolve the building. It didn't look like it was acid. It looked more like the building was decaying.
Ew.
That's creepy.
Yeah, fun.
So is the town like in an uproar right now, or what's going on?
They're freaking out because it wasn't just one building, it was several buildings, because the town, even though it looks kind of large on the map, is not really that big, but it was enough where at least 3 or 4 buildings got hit on its pathway to the west.
Should we? I'd like to stay and help, but I think this falling meteor into the ocean is probably a priority here. I don't know how you guys.
Do guys hear in your mind that he'll be fine?
He'll be fine. All right, let's go heal.
If you want to stop and help. Subtle damn hint! Subtle damn hint!
Sigismund will be at the largest building because he assumes that the most people will be inside of it, and will be trying to help them get out of it.
Okay. Finn, what are you doing?
I would be running around trying to get people out of the largest building as well.
Okay.
Pretty quick, so I'll be running in and out.
Okay. Quick physical description for you 3. We'll start with... Why not? We'll start with ladies first. Snow, what's your character look like?
Snow is your typical humans person. She's got a crazy mess of red hair, usually shoved into a bun of sorts, covered in freckles, beautiful blue eyes. She's about 5'1", very lean, but she could definitely kick some butt. So you probably don't want to mess with the little tiny thing. But she wears a traveler's gi, some big poofy pants, and she carries a quarterstaff with her. And by the way, she has, yeah, basically. Well, they're tighter around the ankles, so they're more like hammer pants of sorts.
Hammer time.
Pants.
Yeah, and she does not have shoes on. Her feet are just wrapped with cloth.
Interesting. Finn will go in the order I can see on Roll20.
So Finn's a small gnome guy. He's got a well-cut beard, short brown hair, wearing simple leather armor, nothing too special, but an elven-made cloak on his back that he pulls the hood mostly over his face. He runs around with like s- like such speed that like you're surprised that a gnome can move that fast. Yeah, they've got brown eyes. Typical gnome. Again, he's not wearing shoes either. He's just wearing like the leather arm is like bound around his like the bottom of his toes.
Interesting. Sigismund, what'd you look like?
I'm desperately thinking of his he's human. I don't know his hair or eye color yet, but he is clad in plate armor, but it's not gleaming. It's sort of dirtied, like he's been out and about in the wild for a bit. And then he also has a sword and shield.
Okay. You can work out the details later of what your eye color and hair color looks like. Not a big deal.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. All right. You do see for right now, three large shapes of winged creatures flying over you. The three of you, I want you three new guys to roll a perception check. Because why not? Get you guys involved. And see how well the rolls are going for you.
Pretty fucking
Nice.
good.
No shit.
It's one way to start off the campaign.
Right off the bat, man.
I know.
I see the future.
Yeah.
That's
All
good.
right.
That's good.
He sees all the planes. Oh, look at that.
I do not see anything, apparently.
Apparently Snow is so busy with her feet, she's not paying attention to anything else.
That's over her bell bottoms.
No, it's hammer pants, remember? Okay.
I don't know what those. I'm gonna look that up because I have no fucking.
Oh, yeah, you're too young for that. Sigismund and Finn, you notice that on the back of these three winged dragons, for lack of a better term, well, that's because that's what they are. These three winged dragons, you see riders.
What the riders look like.
We'll start with Razik since he's the first in line.
Did we get the dragons back?
All right.
Temporarily.
Oh, okay.
You're going to see a red-haired dwarf, and he's going to have some. I don't know if you can see it from here, but brown eyes. He's wearing a sort of oilskin duster, and some adamantine mail underneath, and he's got like a sort of a shape on his on the side of his coat, which is his rune shot. It's sort of it's not a gun, but it's a gun-shaped sort of a wand, roughly hewn into that that general shape. Also carrying a warhammer of dwarvish make.
Okay. Galahad. This is so funny.
You basically see astride a very pearlescent rainbowish dragon, a paladin whose beautiful golden locks dance in the wind as he uses alien conditioner on it from another dimension. In my sheath, there's a sword, and the sheath is adorned with the symbol of Solana, which, if I remember correctly, is the tree.
Yes.
It's
It's a forest of trees. Yeah, her symbol is just a small like copse of trees, and a crown atop it.
Hello?
Yeah, and he's a human, and he's quite a young man, very
Hey,
arrogant looking, and tucked into his belt, there's a couple of brochures for Solana.
Really? Yeah.
Handmade, might I add.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, handmade.
Beautifully drawn.
Beautifully
drawn. Sure, I wish I still had. Oh, do I still have the picture? Fuck.
It's in
If
the
not
chat.
for the fact that you served Solana, Sigismund would immediately dislike you.
Everyone immediately dislikes me. It's literally my character.
It is. Okay, and Sully, or as a Galetus in this one.
Galetus. As you look at this strong presented elf from the top of his head to the soles of his feet, he appears at all times ready for battle, as if trained his whole life. His hair is neatly kept, always pulled back to keep it from getting in his line of sight. A few strands of hair dangle in front of his ears. Two pulled back. He has a scar down his right eye, but not over his eye. Has a large scar down his cheek. His eyes are a dark shade of emerald green. His skin is dark tan, as if he stays in the sun. His body is toned out, not largely muscular, but looks well fit for any hand-to-hand battle.
God, sounds like he's trying to sell something.
That was pretty much reading my bio.
Hand elven god.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anthony, you have your character made, right?
I do. I'm driving, so I can't play.
Okay.
But I do have my character.
Okay, no worries. We'll wait till you get home. I'd rather you not crash.
Oh no, I don't know if you got on PM. I'm driving down to a site. So I got like 2 hours that I'm just gonna sit and be part of the conversation.
Okay, if you just want to listen, that's fine. There it is. Yep, there's the handmade brochures.
Oh, Galahad also looks a little bit slow, maybe.
Okay. These 3 dragons kind of circle around the town and finally land. You can kind of watch them from outside, since they kind of did draw your attention because you guys haven't seen dragons as of yet. They draw your attention, and as you're watching them as they finally land, you notice the 3 dragons shift into various animals.
Got one Australian Shepherd.
I got a suit of dragon, why not?
Mine is a horse,
Because, horses.
because my horse is amazing.
And they begin to head towards your town. The town that you guys are in. Not your town, but town you guys are in.
Is everyone terrified seeing 3 dragon riding people coming towards their city, or do they know us by now?
Word is spread of you guys. The 3 new guys, however, have not been told because they haven't been paying attention. Just for fun.
Well, seeing 3 well-armed people come ride up on dragons that he hasn't seen ever, Sigismund's gonna be wary of them, and he's gonna be paying attention to what they're doing, but he's still gonna be trying to help as many people as possible.
Okay. The one thing you do know about this town, it is a port town, so there are a few other races. Mostly, if you guys check the DM NPC pics, you will see a bunch of people that look like that. They're about 8 feet tall. They have giant silver wings coming out of their back and bony protrusions that come out of their elbows. On Discord, DM NPC pics, you'll see it's the most recent pic I added. That's kind of what they look like. Yes, I'm a G.I. Joe fan. Get over it. Have to say that at a time.
I just realized Lana is spelled wrong on that too.
That's okay. It makes it even better.
It meshes with your character.
That was on purpose.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Makes it perfect.
Who's the Namasi race?
The Nemesi, yeah.
Sorry.
Just to give you guys a quick background, I know you guys read my little intro, but the Nemesi race was originally the race that was the reason for the almost extinction of several races, and did end up killing an entire race. They have since been lost to history. Well, that race has since been lost to history, but they were involved in the original attack, what was signified as the Great War. It eventually ended when Cronons was finally defeated, who was their god, and he was imprisoned. What this little group is trying to do is try and make sure that he does not get released, hence the information you heard earlier.
Do they still speak common?
Yes, they do speak common. They're very wary about other races, but they're tolerable of it, mainly because it brings in money.
So
Well,
we,
Sorry, go on.
have we lit down now, or are we?
Yes,
still
you guys have now landed just outside the town, mainly because your dragons didn't want to freak everybody out, just landing in the middle of town, crushing things. And you guys are now heading into town. I mean, the dragons were pretty big, so yeah, they would have crushed a lot. Poor people. So you guys start heading into town.
Do the Nemesi look like they need help, or are they just like?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
They're a bit rude, but they're not denying getting help. Like you guys are actually trying to help them, get people out. They're a bit rude to you because, well, they don't like you, but they're tolerating it because you are helping them. So it's one of those odd, tense situations where they'd rather you not help, but they're not going to turn down free help.
Are these mostly wingless or winged Nemesi?
This little town is mostly. This little town has mostly wingless. There are a few winged around. Yeah.
I would like to go and help as many people as I can. I look at the others and say, I will tend to the people. You go check Nathan.
I want to. Okay, so these buildings they're being hit by like some necromantic goop, for lack of a better word, right?
Yeah, they got hit by the same little necromantic goop that you saw in the forest, because you saw the comet, which you have been notified that is Nathan, streaming across the sky, and it was dripping goop as it went. It was actually dripping his blood, and that's what's causing all the decays because of what his titles were.
Say Galahad,
Oh, yes,
Hey.
Frank.
the holy stuff you got, your holy man. It's like the opposite of necromantic energy, isn't that right?
Oh, yeah, pretty much nailed it.
Do you think we could try and heal the buildings?
I mean, that's really dumb, but let's try it.
Hey, I mean something.
So I'll try and, I suppose, lay on hands a building.
Okay, that's different.
I mean, am I just cleaning up
It's
the
like-
goop, I'm assuming?
Fires it up,
How is it
water.
a better construct?
Can I divine sense it? Is it like does it have
Divine
like
sense
a,
it.
you know,
It's a building.
Is it like necromantic? No. I'm trying to clean up like the spots of ichor that drop down that are probably still burning a hole.
You know from personal experience because you've run across this goop before. It is the blood of Nathan. It's just the effect of the blood touching ground. The effect of divine blood touching the material plane is what's happening. Because of his titles, he was also a part of death and decay. So whenever it touches something, it just destroys it. You can try and lay on hands a building and try and stop the effect, but what has happened already, you cannot fix.
Yeah, I guess I'll try. Worth a shot. I'll just drop 1 point on it.
Okay. This is
Just
gonna be
clear
funny.
out the goop.
This is gonna be funny. Snowfin and Sigismund, you see this, obvious paladin, walk up to the building, put his hand on it, and you can see him with his other hand kind of touch his holy symbol, and he, mumbles some words, and you can see the healing power shoot through like a goldish green light kind of shoot through his arm, and as it hits the building, you can see where the decay was. It stops.
Good thinking, Razzie.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do some spellfire healing on one of the buildings. See if that does anything.
It
Ooh.
stops the progression, but it does not stop what has already been done to it.
Can I draw the sword? And I'll
sword?
see if the light somehow affects it, maybe?
If you want, you know what? Roll an intelligence check for me, Galahad.
Oh, God, why? I'm terrified.
I know.
For some reason, I actually have stats in 1 second.
Yeah, I know. You have stats.
It's the Severcon.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Not bad.
pretty good.
Wow. Galahad's doing real good. This game's going to go interesting. Galahad, you know that from what you've seen, both from you and Razik, you can't undo the damage that's been done. The most that can be done is they'll have to rebuild. But you can at least stop the flow of the power of the blood.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to try and see if the Holy Avenger, like if the light from it kind of makes it go away, or if I'm going to have to spend my lay on hands on this.
As you touch where the blood is hit, or just any area that has been decayed, you see the sword glow so bright that actually... the sword glows so bright you actually have to turn your eye. You have to avert your eyes. And then when you're done, you see that the decay has stopped all throughout the building.
Hell yeah. I'll just
I
go
guess-
around doing that.
Yeah, me and Galahad are just gonna be like firefighters trying to stop the spread of this stuff.
Okay. Between you two, you managed to at least stop the flow. You guys know that there's no way you can, repair is just going to be throwing some wood together and fixing it. Finn,
Yeah.
Sigismund, and Snow, you literally watch this paladin pull out this beautiful, gorgeous sword. And as he touches it to the building, bright light emanates from it. So bright that even you guys have to turn your eyes. And then when you turn back around, you can see where the decay was still going. It has stopped.
Can I draw my short sword?
You certainly can.
And I walk up to the
Okay.
goo. Up to the goo. Can I like poke it? See if I can get any on my blade.
Oh, I thought you were gonna stab us.
Yeah, no, I kind of thinking that too. I'm like, oh great,
Stab
that's a
your
way.
shins.
That's a great way to go. Start with PvP, awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
as you stab the goop, nothing happens.
Okay, so it's just deactivating them.
Yeah, apparently whatever this heavily armored gentleman did seemed to have stopped the effect of this weird goop.
So did I just
It
see
has-
this gnome go up and see me doing that, and he just stuck his sword in the thing? Do I see that?
Yeah, you guys see it. He's right in front of your face. I mean, you guys all they were basically near one of the buildings that was being destroyed, and they watched you lay on hands a building. Only in this game. Only in this game.
Hey,
There we go. Hey, friend, I think
Has-
you- Oh, sorry, you first.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Has anybody been affected by this scoop? Or like, has anybody been touched by it?
As you guys begin, kind of searching the buildings and whatnot, you do find a couple of skeletal remains.
Ooh.
I was going to try to cure wounds on anybody if there was anybody alive.
You do find a couple who got just a brief bit of it before they ran out of the building. We'll just make it easy. I'm not going to have you roll all these lay on hands and all this other stuff. We'll just make it easy. As you go around, you kind of heal everybody, you bandage everybody up. Total, there were about 30 people affected, all of them wingless.
Uh-huh.
I'll walk up to the paladin and I'll bow low and say, Finn Finley, pleasure to meet you. Quite the entrance you and your friends made there.
Ah, yes, I try my best. By the way, I think you need a more holy sword for that to work, just so you know.
I'm sorry about him.
Oh,
Hi,
yes,
I'm Radzik Cargrim. How you doing?
I find now that you arrived, I'm grateful that you managed to stop that flow.
Yeah, the
Well,
way
we do what we can.
What we do.
What'd you see? Do you see the thing that caused it?
The meteor passing overhead? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was very obvious to everybody. There was no denying what
Okay.
caused this.
Did you see where it landed?
Did I see where it landed?
It hit somewhere in the water off to the west, but you were more focused on saving the people, so that's about all you got to see. Sigismund and Snow, same thing. You guys, that's all you saw. You,
But I saw the future.
yeah, you saw the future. Actually, I'll give it to you because of your a massive perception roll. Sigismund, you did see it land. It's probably a good. You're estimating now. It's probably a good 3 to 4 miles offshore.
So I guess Sigismund has overheard them ask about the meteor, and he'll say, you either need a boat or need to know how to breathe underwater to reach it,
Or a dragon.
or a dragon.
Yeah, those help too.
Hello, who are you, by the way?
I say, hail, fellow paladin. Many thanks for your help. I didn't think to heal a building that way.
Yeah, I actually didn't either. It was my friend here. He's quite the clever one.
It's like the opposite of necromancy or something.
Like
Right.
that too, intelligence to a point right there. Respect.
I say, well, you have my thanks in assisting these people. I'm Sigismund, by the way.
Nice to meet you. Galahad.
Radzik Cargrim.
I walk up to him and say, I am Galdus of all.
Nice to meet you all. Are you tracking that meteor? Do you know what caused it?
We have our assumptions of what it might be. We believe that it might be. Oh, will we know what it is?
You were
Oh, yeah.
told. Yeah, you guys
Oh
were
yeah,
told.
Oh,
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, we were told. We believe
Can
it
I,
was Nathan. The
oh,
fall of Nathan.
never mind.
Go ahead, Razak.
No, I was gonna like inside them, just like make sure they aren't Chronons or
You're
any
welcome.
kind of nefarious people. Well, he already done said the thing, so
Yeah, but you're still welcome to insight anyways. You're more than
Ooh, the
welcome to
big
insight.
12.
You guys can always, if you guys feel like you need to roll something, just roll it. You don't have to worry about asking. I'll just ask about it if I need to know. You don't see any symbols on them.
Handling this.
Yeah, you don't see any symbols on them representing Chronons, so they probably aren't. But that doesn't mean they don't. I mean, from what you can tell, from what you can see, they seem like just people who happened to be around at the time when shit went to hell.
I don't have my god decided yet, but you would see that on my shield. My holy symbol is emblazoned on my shield.
Of whoever
So
it
you would,
is.
whoever it is. So you would see it's not Cronus though.
Yeah, you guys would.
Oh, you haven't decided your god yet?
No.
Here we go.
No, I was just curious.
Salon's a possible choice because I'm Oath of the Ancients.
Oh, well, hello, my friend. Do I have something for you?
This is out
Do
of
you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I see. We see his symbol. We just out of character.
Yeah, it's just out of character. He hasn't decided right now, so you'll see whatever symbol it is. It is obviously not Chronons, so that's your one thing. The other two don't have obvious symbols, so you don't know. Mainly because, honestly, I didn't ask them. But whoever they follow, if they have a symbol, that's their choice.
If it's anything other than Solana, I'll hand him a brochure.
Of course you
I
will.
don't actually have it. Like,
I'll nod politely and take it,
And throw it out immediately.
but then like when he's not looking, just like throw it away.
Okay, that works.
Oh, that's what. Why does this always happen?
How inclusive is this brochure? Does it have other languages besides common?
Oh my, no, it does not.
Nope. Straight in common.
I do
Okay.
not know how to do much.
Look
I
in
didn't
Discord.
write this.
Look in Discord, and you will see the brochure that he's handing out.
Oh, it's extensive.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, Raz.
You're considering the goddess of nature, not even elvish or fae or anything on there.
I don't.
Nope,
think
that's all he put.
so.
Okay, just check.
Also, her name is spelled wrong.
Yeah, and her name is spelled wrong. So. But it fits these
This
characters
was-
perfectly.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, Razik, for making that. Or, she's not Razik Walker.
no problem.
Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, we use it all the time. It's hilarious. Okay.
Anyways,
So, do we see Snow yet, or
Yeah, Snow is there. I believe Snow said she was helping as well, so you would see her as well.
Hence of my nat 1 with my perception check, I just kind of assumed that she was really
Dang
focused
it.
on like jumping over the puddles of goo. She doesn't know what's going on. She just doesn't want to like step in it.
Yeah, basically you were avoiding it and trying to help people at the same time, and you're completely oblivious. You do hear some conversation, but it's all kind of blah, 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 because you're so focused on everything else. Makes that nat 1 so interesting.
puddle jumping.
Fair enough. I mean, I deserved it. It's a nat 1.
It's great.
Well,
So yes, you guys do see her running around helping, and you guys ran across her a couple times, but she seems so focused on that she didn't even notice that you three were new.
I'll be right back. 1 second. I'm sorry.
Damn you.
well, Fallen God could pose some threat to this whole island. Do we have any way of sorting them out?
Doing what?
I was saying that in character to the other guys.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All good.
Yeah, a fallen god could have some threat to this entire island. Do you have a plan to
We.
stop this from happening?
So, what did we get off the inside? Did we get anything? Do they seem pretty legit? Or
From what you can tell, like we said, Sigismund hasn't picked out his god, but it's a holy symbol. However, not Chronons. Finn, you don't see a holy symbol, but they seem decent. They are helping. I mean, you see them. When you came across them, they were physically helping these people. You know, even though the winged ones treated them like crap, they were helping the wingless ones get out of the buildings and try and heal them as much as they can or do what they could. So, from what you could tell, they seemed like decent people.
Well, from what we understand, when that god got kicked out, he's going to lose all of his memories of being a god of undeath. So we're figuring that even if he might have fallen, he might be pretty powerful, and he may even be an asset.
This new god of undeath is truly not very fun. Pretty terrifying. We could use all the help we could.
We met him, and he really honestly just seemed to be interested in furthering his own power.
Well, Sigismund will say, "Wait. So if the god fell, does he have any special abilities? Like, can he breathe underwater? Because if not, he probably need to
Oh yeah.
Well,
I was
we
waiting.
don't really know.
Well, no, I asked the DM at the beginning of the game, and he said we know he's going to be fine. Because I was wondering if we should stay and help, or if we should rush to the god. And he said he's fine.
Yeah, your dragons in a mental link said he should be fine. He will be reborn again in the best terms as they put it, as a Dragir, which is the vampire race. You know they're born half vampires, so he should be fine.
So, what are we going to ask him? I'm just realizing now he lost all his memories.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to get from him?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that if we give him an explanation of what happened, he'd have to accept it. It's better than anything else as to why he's in the middle of the ocean by himself.
I just don't know what we're going to do with him. Like, he's going to be basically just like a... Is he just going to... Oh, we don't know, I guess, but he's just going to be a guy, pretty much. Or a vampire. Dragir, rather.
I have some experience with amnesia, and he'll be needing help.
As soon as you mention vampire, though, you see Sigismund's eyes sort of darken at that term, and his face kind of clenches.
Not a
But
fan
it's
of vampires.
very slight.
Yeah, Radzik's 9 passive perception is not going to just
Yeah.
detect that.
Say Razik and Galahad don't do a
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yes, we
Neither
would.
does Gletus.
Yeah.
So thankfully, Sigismund got away with it.
God.
What do you guys do?
Well, if my suggestion would be get him at least, to where he can move around if he's not hurt at all. But I would suggest that we attempt to put him back on his throne, if we can.
Not super down to help a god of the undead, personally.
Me neither, but I mean, what this Ragnum's guy's gonna do
Wouldn't a
with his new obtained power, because he seemed very powerful, and Lord knows, well, the gods know what he might do.
We could put someone that's actually not shitty on the throne after we throw down Regnum, assuming we don't get our asses handed to us.
well, we got to check out the guy first, and to do that,
Galahad.
we need to go and get him.
But yeah, we might as well go check him out. But I don't think he's going to be that much use to us, honestly.
Y'all seem like a pretty good sort. What do you say? You mind helping us out on this little excursion?
Any help would be greatly appreciated. Well, though I will say up front, we might all die brutally to the god of undeath.
I've never seen a god before, so I'm up for seeing anything.
Oh, here's a likeness, and I'll hand him a brochure.
I'm familiar with Solana. Thank you.
Excellent.
I'll hand it back to him.
Peruse at your leisure.
Sigismund will say, point me to the undead. I will end their suffering.
Oh, man after my own heart. Wow.
All right, well, we're going to have to get there. Say, have any of you ever ridden a dragon before?
Can't say that I have.
Oh boy.
Well, start talking about that in the past tense, my man. And I'm gonna ask Chrono to go ahead and shift back into not his full
Yeah.
true form, but at least the size that could support 2-3 people or more.
Same with Thorn.
Okay. Either way, they still have to leave the town because they will crush buildings, especially to hold 2 people.
Wait,
If
did
you
we-
want, sorry, you can introduce my
Sorry.
character if you want. I just wouldn't be able to help. I don't know if it'll be in a spot next week or whatever where I could come in easily, but
I'll actually wait. I'll just let you sit in and listen for this session,
Cool.
Anthony. Just because it's easier. Plus, I want you to play your
Relax.
I want you to play your character your way. I don't want to mess it up. So.
I mean, I know how I would play it. The only thing that I don't have is the physical stat. Like I have my stats put in, but I don't have my health. I'm at level 1 health. So,
Oh
so
yeah, that would not be good.
No, it'll be fine.
No, like I said, you could just sit in for this session, and
Cool.
you can make a next session that way. It's a little easier because I can easily pull you in for the next session. It won't be hard. Well, depending on what these guys do, who knows?
In the middle of a lake.
I didn't want literally be in the middle of a lake and have a dude just show up. That doesn't make sense,
Suddenly he's in a boat.
All right, that's fine.
No, I just figured it'd be a little easier that way. Plus, like I said, I don't like playing other people's characters because I don't want to
I mean-
screw something up.
I could be there for talk if that's all. I really don't care. I just have another hour and a half. So I'm cool.
Like I do on Mondays.
No, no, that's fine. No, I'll let you just sit in for this one.
All right.
Give you a general idea, so that way you might be able to come up with an idea of how exactly you meet these guys while you're listening. So we'll work it that way.
Sweet.
Did we manage to talk to Snow, or was she still jumping over puddles?
Snow at the time was oblivious. Snow, everybody finally has gotten healed and taken care of. These 3 new guys who you finally now notice began helping as well. So
As we get our dragons out.
yeah, missed the dragons completely. Was too busy with everything else.
Okay, she's gonna walk over. I'm gonna walk over to these strangers who have a dragon with them now. Correct?
Not within the town. They're currently shapeshifted. The only one who actually looks like he has a dragon is Galahad because he has a pseudo dragon on his shoulder. The other one has a Australian Shepherd, and the other one has a horse.
Okay, I thought I heard someone talking about wanting to
Yeah.
shift into a bigger animal, but
They
hey,
are.
it's okay.
Ryza and
I'm just trying to catch you up. I'm just trying to catch you up real quick since you did kind of with your low passive, with your low perception. Now you catch up.
All right, so she's just gonna kind of walk over to these strangers and say, "Hi, I heard you say something about the ocean. I can walk on water."
Oh wow! Sign her up.
Definitely gonna head and gonna do that.
Okay. Snow, are
glad
you
to.
lying?
No,
Can you really walk on water?
9th level, I can run on water.
And
Okay.
does she seem sane?
I was gonna.
Yeah, she does seem.
caught up in some shit.
Yeah, poor Galad. Yeah, she
Alright.
does seem
That's what I was
completely in her right mind when she says that.
Knowing how far away it is, though, 3 to 4 miles, Sigismund will mention where it is approximately, though, and say it might be faster to take the dragons that they're offering.
She looks a little disappointed by this, but complies.
You'll get your opportunity later. I
Oh,
really want
damn.
to see this.
Damn, I can't walk on water today. Okay. As you guys all exit the town, short distance away, basically where they landed, the 3 of you watch. I mean, Finn and Sigismund, you already saw it. Snow, this is your first time actually seeing it. You see the little pseudo dragon hop off this, heavily armored guy and shift into a pearlescent dragon. It's
All right,
gorgeous.
Thorn, you bastard. Let's go.
Yeah, it's very beautiful because depending on where you look at it, you can see the colors kind of shifting on it. If you've ever seen a pearlescent car, depends on the way you look at it, the colors run on it. Razik, what's your color dragon?
Gold.
That's right. You see the Australian Shepherd. He shifts, and you see a beautiful golden dragon. Galetus, which yours?
Copper.
Copper. Okay. So, closer colors. And you see the other one, the horse, Galetus gets off, and you see it actually shift into a copper dragon. All beautiful, like their scales are glistening and everything. They are pretty massive, though. They definitely dwarf the town. And you can understand why they were in smaller forms.
Thorn's probably bitching about having to take up extra people.
Mentally, yes. Not out loud. I'll approach the gold one, and whoever's on that, I'll say, my eyes are lighting up. I'll say, may I? Indicating to climb on it.
Isaac, that's you.
Go ahead.
I'll jump up, trying to climb on it. All
Okay.
My 4 foot height.
You do notice the dragon actually lowers itself so that you can climb onto its back. It at least gives enough respect so that it lowers it and even positions its leg so that you can use it as a climbing post to climb onto its back.
Yeah, I'll clamber on up.
Snow. Which one do you pick?
I'm gonna stay the copper dragon, and I'm gonna just walk up and kind of hold my hand out, like for it to sniff my hand, like it was just like a horse still.
Okay. It looks at you very confused, and you hear in a very guttural tone, "Just get on."
She
Name it.
smiles and literally just leaps in the air and hops on the back, and it doesn't feel a start or like she doesn't land hard. She just lands very gracefully.
Awesome. Okay. Sigismund means you're on the pearlescent with the paladin.
Yes, he will approach
Oh, buddy.
the pearlescent, but he will not address Galad. He will address the dragon and ask him, after doing a short bow, sort of, may I, will you be willing to carry me, or may I ride you?
Wow, that sounds all kinds of wrong. Yeah, I'll let
Yes,
you.
he's an asshole.
I'll let you. This one gave me respect.
He'll say my thanks, and he'll climb on, I guess.
Okay. As you
Hold
guys,
on tight.
yeah, as you guys all climb on, Galetus, Galahad, and Razik, you all get on your dragons. You're used to how they take off. This is a little different. They kind of do a little running start and just slightly take off, almost kind of like a plane does. And it's very gentle. Usually they're kind of just straight up pulling you into G-forces. But these guys are gentle about it for now. It's a weird change for you guys to see on these dragons.
Yeah, I'll message him in my mind. Oh, now you're gentle about it, Thorn, dick.
Well, we got new people. Gotta treat them nice. For now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
With my perception roll, should I attempt to guide them where I thought it landed?
Yeah, I'll give you that. You're giving your best guess. As you guys are flying over the water, they're actually not flying very high. You can actually see that their taloned arms are just kind of trailing across the water. It's pretty wicked to see, because you guys are like leaving little wakes behind you as you guys are just flying across the water. With Sigismund guiding you guys, you managed to find about the spot that you think where he went in, and as you guys arrive, you see a head popping out. I'll get you the picture in a second. Check Discord.
Ooh, edgy.
Yeah, I know. Emo all the way.
I bet he plays a Reaper all the time.
You just leave them.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Let's just turn around.
Oh, there he is. Never mind. He seems fine. He can swim.
Okay, I guess we'll swoop down. And since this guy's ignoring, I'll do it. I'll ask. Well, I guess I'll have to ask Thorn if he can do like a steep one and kind of scare him a little bit. a
Or not.
deep swoop down to Nathan. And I'll try and I'll try and grab his hand, I suppose, or maybe the back of his shirt if he's wearing one.
Yeah, he is. He kind of looks like he is in the picture, minus the blood. But that's pretty much
And
what he looks like.
hopefully the makeup.
No, he's actually pretty pale.
Oh, that makes sense. And I'll just swing him up behind my friend here.
Okay. You guys managed to pick him up, no problem. Give him a little start because obviously, he seems very confused. He's super confused about being in the water, and pretty shaken. He does seem to have this kind of glazed over look, like he has no idea what's going on.
Sigismund will say first in common and then in celestial. Nathan, do not be afraid. We're here to help you.
He looks at you.
Does he know his name?
Yeah, you guys did say it.
No, does he know his name, like Nathan himself?
Oh,
That's what Sigismund's trying to see.
yeah. He looks at you, goes, "Who's that?" And he says it in common.
Oh boy.
Sigismund will say that's you.
Well, it was. Let's
All his memories.
let's get on land and hash this out.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys turn around. You guys land outside the town to talk. The dragons look at you three and go, "Sorry, they must return to what they were previously doing. Things are turning again."
All right, have a great time.
Good luck.
Sigismund
Be
will
careful.
thank them for the dragon ride.
I say, be careful, Kenway. May Solana guide you.
You should be fine, don't I?
I'll just
You
quick
need
hop
help?
off and
Pick 'em.
give him a pat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hop off and I'll say
Also, quick question.
Quick answer.
The climate of this area, would you say that the ocean would be especially cold?
Yes. In this area, because you guys are more towards the north of the planet, this area is a bit more cold. It's like basically trying to dip your toes into the water of the waters in Canada. Bit on the chilly side.
What do you mean? Whatever.
In this case, there.
I think the water is roughly the same, unless it's super. Anyway,
Nah, it's a bit more cold up here.
is it really?
Well, no, not in Canada. I don't know. I'm not in Canada. I'm in Florida.
I'm just saying, unless you're in the Arctic or something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fine.
Anyways, I get your point.
As they're helping him Nathan to land, Sigismund is going to use divine sense on Nathan.
Right now, the only thing you pick up is he's undead.
Okay.
The rest of your divine sense, you do feel divine presence with your paladin near you, and actually with the other two, Galitas and Razik. There is some kind of divineness to them. They're not gods per se, but it seems like they have some kind of. I know this is a little more than what divine sense does, but I give a little extra. You do feel a strong holy presence about them.
Do I feel like it's from an object, or have they been touched by the gods themselves?
I'll leave it at you feel it as if they've been touched.
Okay.
Snow, what's the medicine check for?
I wanted to see if I needed to build a fire for him. Because, I mean, I can imagine he'd be a little cold. But the whole undead thing, maybe not.
I was just getting
I don't
ready
know,
to come down
do
and grab it.
undead get chilly?
I was just getting
Probably,
ready.
I would think, kind of chilly. Yeah.
As you touch him,
I think
he does seem a bit.
Just chilly in nature.
Yeah, as you touch him, he does seem a bit cold. He's not shivering or anything, so it doesn't look like the water affected him. He just seems to be naturally cold.
Okay, fair.
I'll walk up to him and I'll kind of like look in his eyes from about 6 inches away. I'll just look inquisitive and go, "He doesn't look like a god. You sure you got the right guy?"
I guess we'll find out. Shit. He did fall from a meteor, though.
say, friend, I know this is a little bit strange for you, but bottom line is, you used to be a
It's going
god
right into it.
of undeath and necromancy. You were a celestial being, and you agreed to fight a lich, and the lich won. You were ousted, and you fell down here to the material plane. Is there anything you remember?
He sits and you can see him deep in thought. He sits and thinks. He goes, "I don't remember any of that. All I remember is waking up in the water."
So you don't know who you are, or why you can talk, or how old you are, or anything?
He shakes his head. No, I don't know any of that. I don't even know my name.
Did we manage to rest, Sorry? Because it would be good to know right now.
I'll say, yeah, last session you would have gotten a long rest.
I'll throw down a zone of truth and just make sure that he's doing the shit.
Okay.
So you don't know anything about yourself. Well, how about this? Do you think you can control any kind of power within you?
He looks very confused, but you see him kind of hold out his hand and kind of focus. For very brief second, you can see like a little arc of lightning goes through his hands, but it doesn't last very long. It's it's just real quick, and you can see he's like concentrating with all his might, and that's all he got. Galahad, in the Son of Truth, so
yes,
far he's
thank you.
been honest.
You have to make a charisma save, but
And we'll just.
I'm
he's
sure
been
I'll
hon-
do them. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been honest.
Can
he's
I-
not trying to lie.
Can I do an Arcana check to see like what type of magic he just kind of summoned forth?
Sure, you can try. Damn!
Yeah.
You guys,
Nice.
you guys in these high rolls. What the hell's going on, man? I've never seen a game like this.
Pretty lucky as well.
It's a good day.
Yeah,
It's
and
the
then
collective beginners. We're all
Yeah.
gently earned.
the new people are giving you the boost.
Hell yeah.
From what you can tell, the best guess you can think of is he was trying to summon a ball of lightning, which is not any spell you know of. But it looks like that's what he was trying to do.
I'm gonna just sit down with him and see if I can't like teach him just like the basics. Just a quick little prestidigitation of some like a little fire or something.
Okay. What do the rest of you guys do? As Razik and him kind of stand off to the side and they're sitting there talking. What do the rest of you guys do?
Well, Sigismund will take his hand off of his weapon after he saw that display of what the guy did, and he'll watch him closely, but he won't impede Razik from taking him away and teaching him something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on this guy, and I'll ask him, does he have any memories at all? Or do you have any memories whatsoever from your past life?
He shakes his
Just
head.
nothing?
He shakes his head, and while he's in the zone, I'm just gonna say we'll say he just fails because
Yeah.
he's being dead honest with you. He has no idea. Like, I mean, you were told his knowledge would be erased. You didn't think it would be erased that completely.
Yeah, I thought he might have like some kind of maybe false memories or something. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently whatever
Just
they did, they
completely
just kind of
amnesia.
threw him there and gave him nothing to work with.
Huh. Okay, cool.
Finn will walk about 20 feet off and sit himself down, stop doing tricks with his dagger, just keeping an eye on things.
Snow, what do you do?
Probably just kind of listen in, and maybe if anyone is not paying attention to this random pale stranger, she's probably just gonna make kind of small talk, figure out who everyone is, what's going on, as she's been kind of adventuring previously, so she's kind of just been like discovering herself. You know the thing that teenagers do, like where they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna
It's
go
like a
travel."
European trip.
That's it. Like literally, that's what she just did.
Okay.
So she's not quite sure what's going on with the whole gods situation.
Yeah, this is definitely
Oh, take this pamphlet.
yeah, this is definitely news to you and very confusing. But yeah, okay. Razik, as you try and teach him, you know, even to like produce even a small flame, it briefly comes to life and flickers out.
Huh. Now, does this seem like a little bit unusual for people who have like a little bit of magical talent, or is that kind of expected from the beginner?
Usually in the beginning, that's usually how it goes. Is they can do a little bit here and there, and it's for small periods of time. But it's the constant training and the constant focus in the arcane that tends to bring out the power and make them realize that they're basically a walking conduit of the magical energy. So it's not uncommon. You've seen this a few times before with new recruits, so to speak. And that's he's trying, but it doesn't seem like anything's really holding with him right now. You're not sure if that's because of the memory wipe or if it's something else.
All right. Yeah, I'm just kind of keep at it and tell him, well, not bad, not bad. You're doing all right. Just keep at it and try not to set anyone's beard on fire.
Kind of chuckles.
I'll while they're sorry.
No, go ahead.
While he's doing that, I'll try and. Is there a leader of the city that I could talk to?
Is there what?
A leader or some sort of community
Pissed off at me
person
now?
that I could talk to that has sway over these people.
In this town, you don't know. It's a fresh town to you.
I'll ask around. Sorry, DM.
Well, I was just getting ready to come down and help you. I mean, I told you just give me a minute. I was literally getting ready to tell them I'll be right back. Okay. So you go back into town and try and find somebody?
Yeah, I'd just like to try and convince them to maybe join us in the in our little rebellion here.
Okay. Do you talk to one of the few winged ones, or do you talk to the wingless ones?
I'll try and
I'm
find a
back.
prominent member of the wingless ones, and I'll just kind of ask around amongst the lower castes. I surely have heard that we're staging some sort of revolution at this point. They got to know, have heard of me, or us rather, and know kind of what our deal is.
Okay. Just for fun, roll an investigation check.
Also, are the winged ones like looking at us funny? Like, are they a bit scared or what?
The winged ones are severely outnumbered in this town. There's maybe like
Yeah.
a total of 4 winged ones in this entire town. The rest are wingless. So this is mostly a wingless town. The few winged ones you've seen have given you some pretty dirty looks. But other than that, they've done nothing.
What happened?
I'm trying to track down a leader so I can convince them to join our little rebellion we got going on.
The rest of us trying to see what exactly this Nathan can do now, magic-wise. I think we're just sitting like a couple hundred feet out the town, or not even that.
Well, most of the stuff you were already getting, and you told me not to do a lot of it. Once I started feeling better, I did the loan.
Yeah, awkward silence.
Sorry, 1 second.
I'm trying to decide what to do.
Take a minute.
Come with.
Actually, yeah, Sigismund will go with Galahad and try to like talk to him about, since he's the paladin as well, I'll try to like talk to him, learn more about like his oath and stuff.
Oh,
Like,
well, let me tell you,
paladin.
I'll talk for half an hour straight.
Yes, he would. But you guys are welcome to have that interpersonal communication. I'd love to hear some of it.
Oh, my friends, where do you come from?
I said this And then I realized I didn't have his backstory complete.
I know.
We'll say we talk about our backstories.
I will
Alright.
tell you next session, or like I'll write it in Discord once
Yeah, that works.
I figure it out, just so you'll know.
All good. So yeah, I guess for now we'll just say we share our
Thanks,
backstory.
Boulder.
I'm gonna have to change names in mine as well. Thank you for reminding me.
And yeah, so I'd like to just kind of find out the information, and I'd prefer to go with like Razik and the whole group. So for now, I'm just kind of trying to find information on who would be best to try and convince to join us,
Okay.
and then I'll head back to the group.
You find. Let's see. The DM
Razik's
listed
the
names.
talker.
Hold on.
All good.
Sigismund, yeah, I'd say he's looking for someone. Sigismund's going to try to help him. He's going to look for anyone who's like organizing relief efforts, repair efforts, anything like that, because they would seem to be a person in charge,
Yeah.
and he would go up and try to talk to them.
You find Paranchi. He seems to be the makeshift, elder of the town, and they seem to go to him for any questions about things. He doesn't exactly run the town, but it's one of those, things really don't happen unless it's got his approval. But
Yeah.
he doesn't like enforce his will or anything. He just helps the town out and, suggests where they should go, what they should do and things like that. Everybody recommends him if you want to talk about anything that involves the town itself.
Well, what do you think? Should we wait for the rest of the group or go and talk to this guy ourselves?
You seem pretty charismatic.
Oh yes.
I'll be with you if you need anything. I really don't understand what's going on still, so I'll try to learn as I go.
We have a rich tapestry
Just-
of backstory.
Just feed his ego, man. You just fed his ego.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
good.
Well, like you mentioned a rebellion, but Sigismund wouldn't know what that is.
I guess yeah. While we're walking, I'll kind of fill him in on that.
Okay.
Do you like out of character know what we're talking about?
No.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
I mean, I gave him a little bit. I told him a little bit about the backstory, but in character it'd be a good idea because all of it is out of character to him.
yeah. He might have like at most a vague knowledge of what's going on because he's not completely cut off from the world,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't know specifics or anything more than generalities.
Oh well, strap yourself in, my friend, because this is a tale. So, can I just should I do this
fixed
in
everything
character?
up, so.
You can just say basically that you just told me the recap in this time.
Yeah, I'll give them the recap. Basically, long story short, starting a rebellion against the town. Got a whole bunch of wingless people in the forest, where as we speak, they're setting up a siege. It's good times, and we're gonna try and convince this guy. Let's go! So yeah, we'll find Paranchi, which is
but-
super.
For the new guys, basically what, at least for Sigismund, basically what he tells you is that the wingless ones were basically treated like crap, treated like slaves by the winged ones, at least within the main city they were in. Apparently it had been that way for thousands of years. That's how they run things in their society. They, of course, didn't like it because they're goody two-shoes, and they had to put a stop to it.
Yes, that's us. To be fair, I wasn't here for that session, but
Sigismund will say, so you thought you could undo thousands of years of racial hatred in a day, and that
I mean-
would all work out perfectly fine.
am I
Pretty much.
saying it's the best plan? No, I'm just saying we had to
Get him.
try.
He hands out
alright?
pamphlets. How good plans did he come up with, really?
Like, you will tell him how the whole God idea,
What's that?
the plan with like we're gonna trick him into thinking God told him to do it.
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Oh yeah,
They were going to try
Yeah,
and they were going to try and convince the winged ones that their god, the god Chronons,
Oh,
told them, made changed their mind and wanted the wingless ones to join the ranks and be equal citizens. They were going to try that attempt using their bard with his special abilities to fix that.
Yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't end up in,
Oh yeah, that would have
death.
been. Yeah, that would have gone.
Lots
a
of
lot
death.
It would have Hey, it's just a god coming down to Earth to tell you to stop practicing slavery.
You wouldn't be
Oh, yeah.
labeled as heretics or anything. You know, it's
The very same God who, by the way, enforced the slavery to begin with.
drawn and
you know,
quartered.
that's nice.
New Testament.
Sigismund was going to look at you aside and say, "Your logic makes no sense."
Welcome to
I'm
Galahad's
not
world.
a smart man. Okay, actually, yes, I am. I'm a genius. But let's just go talk.
But you know how religion works because you're a paladin.
Let's go. Let's just find this guy. All right.
It's easy enough to get directions to where he's at. He lives in a small little house. It's probably, it's actually only one story. Thankfully, it was far enough away from the drips that no affected. There are a couple of houses near him that took some damage, but you guys stopped all that. As you go visit him, he's currently talking to a couple of the other wingless ones, just about, what they should do to fix up the city, should they go to the forest, whatnot. And as you guys come in, all eyes turn on you.
I'll just give a sort of bow. I'm still Galahad, too arrogant to give a full bow, but I give a little bit of a bow for respect.
Okay.
Sigismund will also, but he'll be deeper than Galahad's, and he'll also say, "Greetings, Elder. How are any of your townsmen, and how are they? Are any in mortal danger, or did we manage to save them all?"
No, thanks to the help of all of you, you managed to thwart whatever was happening and prevent a further loss of life. We unfortunately only lost 4 members of the town.
Yeah, we're pretty great. Anyways, the reason for us coming here, you may have heard of a little bit of a rebellion going down near Vander. Have you gotten any news of that, or have you heard of us?
Yes, word has reached us of the attempted rebellion.
Well, surely you would throw in your lot with us. I mean, if there's ever been a time to throw off your shackles, now would be the time. And as we speak, the siege begins. They are building palisades and beginning to starve the city out. We join with the centaurs of the forest nearby. I mean, now would be the time if you'd like to join us.
Well, as you can see, we don't have much of that kind of problem. The few winged ones who remain do not push their thoughts on us.
I'm not one to tell you how to live. If you are fine in servitude, that's fine. I'm just saying, it's the time. The times are changing. You want to be on the right side of history here. You let your people be in slavery?
How can you be so sure it is the right side?
Because I'm a genius, that's why. I'm pretty great. But no, I mean, sorry, crap myself. But shit, what was I saying? Oh yes,
It's hilarious. It's great. This is typical Galahad, so it fits perfectly in character.
Amazing.
broke my own
charisma.
self
While
out of
he's
character.
floundering, Sigismund's gonna say,
amazing charisma. Fuck you.
"Is there anything left of the bodies that you mentioned? And how long ago did they die?"
They died after the drops fell, and as far as I know, the bodies were taken to be reused.
Much longer than a minute. And what was that?
What do you mean by reused?
Yes, yeah.
In our society, when a warrior or anyone of our race dies, we use various means to melt down our bones and reform them into either weapons, armor, or something that makes sense for the particular individual who died.
That is the most metal thing I've ever heard, and that's what I want to happen to me when I die. Please, please, Sigismund, take note.
This is the first. I don't know enough about his backstory. This would be the flavor thing I mentioned. This would shape how he views this.
The one thing you do know is all of you guys know, by the way, out of character. The Nemesi race, their bone structure is adamantium of sorts. It's more like chromacium, which is the Fortis's version of adamantium. So picture kind of like a bone structure like a wolverine. Their bones are fused, are actually pure metal, and the metal that you see in their wings is actually just part of their structure. Like their entire makeup is made of metal and then some flesh thrown on top. So
So
that's
it's literally the most metal thing you've ever heard.
literally, yes.
Nice.
I'll show myself.
That was awesome, though. Yeah,
Worth it.
yeah. So that's what
So-
you guys know about the race, and that's why they were so dangerous and so hard to defeat. Is because their bones were metal. You couldn't break their bones. When fighting these guys, it was almost impossible to, really do any damage like you could with any other race. Like you could break a bone or something in another race. These guys breaking bones is not that easy because their bone structure is metal.
Sigismund will say, you wouldn't rather have them return to you? As in,
I think it's been longer than a minute.
It has been.
no, he has Ray's dead.
Oh shit!
He can
What?
pull the
How?
cleric spell list.
Oh damn!
As much as we appreciate the gesture, it is how our society has always dealt with the death of our, kin.
Sigismund will say, I understand.
Well, you're gonna have a lot more weapons because we're
I
about to
might
get
not
into
agree
a-
with it, but I understand.
As for assisting you in the rebellion, I
Your
must.
queen sits with us, and you're gonna let your countrymen die for this noble cause while you sit here? Giving him
I,
some tough love. Cal heads down.
I may assist in how the town runs and operates, but I do not call myself a leader. I am merely someone who is
The other
been
people seem to. That's how
he
we
nods.
found you. The other people seem to see you as a leader, and you might not see it, but I'm sure they do. You could be the one to persuade them.
I would still need to speak with the other elders in the town and see what their choices are. Because as I said, in this town, we have a bit more freedom than in many of the other towns.
I'd
So
say,
you're going to
is
let
there a
your
way to...
countrymen be enslaved then, as long as it doesn't happen to you, right? I see it now.
Sigismund will try to be more
Not an asshole.
Yeah, not a dick.
diplomatic and say, is there a way to hold a vote then? Is that how you deal with huge matters in your town? Do you decide democratically?
In a sense, we have we have a discussion on town matters, and we do vote per se. It's more everybody speaks their mind and gives their opinion, and if everybody isn't at least in accordance with whatever's happening, then that's what happens. So I guess yes, you would say we're more democratic.
Is there a way to hold like a town meeting right now?
He
Time
waves.
of crisis.
He waves to one of the gentlemen that has been sitting there watching you, who runs out the door. He's going to inform them now.
Galahad, get ready to make your case.
Furiously thinking of things to say.
Meanwhile, Razik and the others, what are you guys doing? Razik, I know you're still working with Nathan. You can't get, the few hours you've been sitting here working with him, he doesn't seem to produce more than just a brief bit of magic. You can tell there's definitely magic in him because he's being able to produce something. But it seems like, as you're watching him and kind of studying him, you notice that it seems more like whatever happened to him, it seemed to have blocked a majority of his power. So it's either he has to gain it back through other ways or something. You're not real sure.
Out of character, is there a way to restore his memory?
You have no idea. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
So, all right. Wait, who's around me right now?
I'm about 20 foot off from you sitting down.
Yeah, Finn's watching.
All right.
Snow, what are you doing?
I'm
I'll get to you.
Snow is kind of watching the magic. She kind of wants to say something, but out of character. Having charisma of 8, she's not quite sure how to approach, but she like really wants to talk. So she's kind of just sitting there like fidgeting and watching.
All right, so y'all listen up. Here's the plan. We can't let just anybody know who he is, where he came from. If anyone asks, he was in the town when the whatever catastrophe happened. He got hit by some masonry and lost his memory. Nathan, you got that? Or, well, I guess it comes to the next point of business. What do you want to be called?
For some reason, the name Lucius Vasiliev comes to mind.
Whew.
Lucius.
I'll
Alright.
I'll get to my feet and I'll go. Well, I've got an inkling. I've got an idea. If you want to bear with me.
All right.
Who's is it Gladius with me or
You mean Galetus?
Yes.
Yeah, he's there.
yeah or sorry, who's Pots and Pans? Who's that?
That's Razik.
That's right.
Razik. Okay. Do I know what class they are? Or can I tell?
From
Some
the
kind
way,
of magic.
yeah, from the way Razik looks, he looks like he's there's some kind of magic wielder or something like that. You can't really tell what he is. The others you can kind of recognize, like Galahad was kind of an obvious paladin, just because the way he, the way he looks, the way he presents himself. Snow, maybe a monk, maybe you're not real sure, but she kind of fits
Who
that
else
part.
has feet wrapped?
Yeah, with the feet wrapped. For Galetus, maybe a fighter from the way he looks. It's hard to tell with him.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll walk up to Lucius now. I'll say, look, this might hurt, but it will help us decide exactly what you are. I'll take my dagger and I hold out my hand to see if to beckon his hand into mine.
Okay, he takes his hand and puts it in yours.
I'm just going to do a small cut.
Okay. As you cut him, it does cut. As you cut him, you see blood drip. As it hits the ground, it decays anything underneath it.
Whoa.
Only a
Well,
small,
that's interesting.
Oh my.
yeah. It's only about, maybe about a foot max wide of blood that just, the ground around it just decays straight up.
I'm gonna hit him with a little bit of the spellfire healing.
Okay. As it hits him, you could see he kind of jolts and, his eyes kind of flash briefly. And Finn, you watch on his hand as it just heals.
Possibly not a good idea to let this guy bleed.
Or maybe we could make use of that.
Ooh.
He's just looking between you all confused. When you cut him, he didn't even seem to flinch. Like, it didn't even bother him.
See, Lucy, did that hurt?
Nope.
Why don't you face this way, and I'm gonna try to turn him around to maybe a small patch of grass or something.
Okay.
Just kind of take my little hidden blade and make a small
Oh yeah.
cut on his hand. And why don't you just try flinging your arm just in as wide an arc as you can. And I'm going to stand way back.
So much.
Okay. All right. As you cut his arm and he swings his blood out, you watch as it arcs through the sky. Arcs through the sky. As it lands, you can see everywhere it hits. You can hear and everywhere the drops landed, even the ones that are dropping near him, you can just see the ground decay.
Lucy, my boy, you got acid blood.
Boy.
My boy.
Even he doesn't seem thrilled by that.
Great. Thanks, Ben Stein. Nice delivery.
Yeah.
Well, so that doesn't you don't feel any different with all that stuff just kind of leaking out of you.
It's uncomfortable, but it doesn't hurt like you think, like I guess you guys thought it would. You see him just kind of sit and focus, and as he looks at his arm, the one that you cut, you watch it slowly begin to heal.
Would I know that this phrase, Jagir, would actually feed on blood at all?
Yeah, you know, they do it differently. Like they don't drain anybody dry. These are more like they only take what they need to survive, and usually they only take it from willing subjects. The Jagir are very
Oh,
picky about how they do it.
that's a good idea.
That actually is a good idea.
Very good idea.
Okay. I'll say, Lucius, you hungry?
A little bit.
I'd be willing to part with some of my blood if you want to partake.
He kind of looks at you a little confused.
Sure, that's a good idea.
Well, I want to see what this guy can do.
If the blood doesn't seem too appetizing, I also have some mutton.
How about we try the mutton first?
Fair enough.
Rather than feed off somebody if I don't have to.
All right, yep, have at it.
Okay. As you give him the mutton, he wolfs it down. Apparently he was hungrier than he thought. He wolfs it down. He goes, yeah, that was actually a bit more filling. I kind of like that better. You guys do know that your gear can eat normally. It doesn't bother them. Blood is more what, from what you've been able to ascertain through various study and whatnot, you've gathered that blood seems to not just, it doesn't really feed them, it more feeds their power.
Hmm.
Of course,
Would
you
I
guys,
know?
I'm curious about Galetus' question. That's a good idea.
yeah, you guys knowing Dragir would know this about them. Specifically, you guys have a Dragir friend, if you recall correctly.
The one that
Real
has
good friend.
fangs? Yeah.
Yeah, a real good friend. Real quick, Galetus, that name does come up in history.
Ooh.
Long time
Oh wait,
ago.
was he there for when he chose the name? Oh wait, no. Never mind.
We'll just say he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Just
Yeah,
for
I
fun.
was.
Because
I was with Sigismund.
no, you,
Sigismund.
no, you were with
No, it's just-
Razik and the others. Sigismund and Galahad walked off by themselves. They were,
Oh yeah, I was with Rezik.
yeah.
That's right.
But then as soon as you heard the name, for some reason it clicked something in your mind and you're like, I really got to find this out. So you went to the town. You guys aren't far out of town. I mean, you guys are just testing things real close to town, just in case.
Okay.
So he's like, okay. And you see Gladys just like bolt off. As soon as he heard the name, he's gone.
Gets out his freaking library card and starts running.
Yep. As you get to the library, there's not a lot of information, but there are some older books. Specifically because the Nemesi keep better records. Lucius Vasiliev is in history. Specifically, he was once the Dragir king. He ruled with an iron fist. He was a tyrant when he was in power. He eventually decided that being a king of the race wasn't enough for him. He wanted to become a god. He used anybody and everybody he could. He had companions that he ended up sacrificing to get his god status. He then became Nathan.
Can I buy the book and take it to him?
Sure.
I'm gonna buy the book and make my way back to Rezik.
Okay. Quick hop back to Galahad and Sigismund. Mainly to give you guys a chance to think of what you're going to do next. A few minutes later, several more of the older wingless ones come in, and one winged one comes in.
Oh boy. I stare him down.
Paran, she looks at you and goes, "Now's your chance to speak."
Don't remember inviting you. I mean, not a big fan.
He's an elder.
Alright. Well, essentially, I just told this guy, I mean, while you guys might have it easy, your friends over in the city there are being heavily oppressed and essentially are slaves. Are you truly going to let people like this winged one here walk all over them while you sit here? They're fighting for their freedom and they have a great chance of winning, and you could tip the scales.
Sigismund will whisper to Galahad, generalizations about races are bad.
I,
Yeah, it's Galahad. He doesn't care.
yeah.
Remember, he also whisper, remember you're trying to persuade them.
Well, I'd persuade a special way. I got my special way of persuading.
Good.
And roll your persuasion.
Can I assist?
Can I guide
What do you say
myself?
to assist? Here we go. What do you say to assist him? Like, what do you whisper in his ear to help try and get things going? We'll say you do that.
They'll say, no one should live their life being oppressed for any reason. And if a person sees wrong in the world, they should try. If it's within their power, they should try to help.
I'll whisper to him, wow, I should have said that.
Okay.
What he said.
I'll allow you, Galahad, I'll allow you to roll persuasion with advantage. But mind you,
Alright,
the
I
DC is
will-
going to be kind of high on it, just because you're trying to convince people who've lived this way for a long time.
I will also guidance myself.
Good move.
Okay, persuasion. Hey, I'm pretty good at it. Hey, you know, guidance it. Oh god, please be good. What's that, a D4, correct?
Yeah.
Big money.
What?
Yep, that's about right.
Wow.
That's typical Galahad roll. You see some of them kind of nodding with you. The winged one, of course, he's just looking more and more pissed as you talk.
I don't give a shit.
But you got a lot of the wingless ones to at least nod while they're listening to you.
Okay.
Sigismund was going to try to persuade the winged one. Okay.
Okay, what do you say?
To fight against his own people?
No, it is not. It is not again a fight against.
It
races.
really
You
is.
Cannot think of it that way. You have to think of it as two groups of people. One is oppressing the other. It is not about race. It's about someone
try
doing
it
something
your way.
wrong, and you're trying to set it right.
You take the lead, because I'm not very good at this, I'm gathering.
Roll a persuasion.
I'm now beginning to realize at level 15 that I'm not very good at persuading people.
Roll a persuasion check, Sigismund.
Oh my
Damn!
Dear
Holy
Lord,
cow.
man.
Man, new guy comes in and blows the paladin away.
Yeah, holy shit.
I have high charisma. I'm a paladin, goddammit.
Yeah, you just blew him
Eat
away.
those words. Here's a spoon.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, sort of. He's unique.
Can I guidance that? Is that going to be high enough?
You are welcome to guidance it if you want, just to help. I mean,
Why?
it can't hurt. Roll a d4 for him. Yeah, not bad. 31.
I mean, being a
Jeez.
paladin doesn't necessarily mean you're an asshole. I just am.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
So yeah, see if it matters at all.
As Sigismund is sitting there talking to the winged one, he seems to be
I mean,
focusing.
just,
Yeah, he seems to be focusing his attention straight on the winged one, because that's really the one it seems that you have to convince of this, Yeah. That's the seems to be the one more you have to convince. He sits there and talks to him, and you can actually see that the winged one starts to nod. He's coming around. You guys have done pretty good. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't make the DC too high, but that was pretty good for you.
We let them have a minute to like think about it. Maybe we should like, step out.
If you two wouldn't mind giving us a moment to discuss this in private.
Oh, yeah, there's that. Yeah, well, sorry. Yes, have a moment, of course.
I say, of course, making a decision this big takes time. Please take all the time you need.
And I'll just do that kind of half bow again as we leave.
I will repeat the same bow that's slightly deeper than Galahad's.
This could be a challenge between these two.
As we get outside,
No,
I'll
I'm
say,
showing more respect because he's more humble. That's what he's doing.
It's great. I love it.
He's the most humble of all.
I'm the most humble person.
Okay, as you guys get outside, do you have a
I
conversation?
tell him, holy shit, you should do the talking, not me. Oh my god, that went terrible. I just get all angry and I get upset. It's very frustrating.
Sigismund will say you need a calm mind and heart when trying to convince people to do the right thing.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll just keep doing my. It's lasted this long. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can try and listen in on like what they're saying, maybe without being like super obvious about it.
Roll a perception check.
Is this like a tent or is it a door or?
It's a little building. It's just a little one-story house kind of thing. But obviously it's set up occasionally for, when they have council meetings.
Yeah, I'll kind of whistle to myself, and I'll try and kind of get closer to the door and just listen in without
Okay.
being super obvious.
Roll a perception
If I
check.
can hear.
Yep, roll a perception
Yeah.
check. We'll see.
I'll guide myself again.
Just blow all them spells, why don't you? Damn, nice.
Ooh,
Natural
never
20.
mind. That's where I get a fucking match.
Yeah, no.
Nice.
Also, future.
As you're listening in, at first it's a little muffled, but then you kind of readjust yourself, and now you're hearing it perfectly. They're discussing the best course of action. The winged one, from what you can tell, because you've heard his voice, he's spoken a few times, he goes, I tend to agree with him. The way things have always been wrong. I have always been one that has never quite followed the rest of my kin. If they really mean what they say and they really wish change, and the Queen is truly on board with this, I would say that we must help them. We must give them assistance, give them aid in whatever way we can, even if it's not in battle, even if we can give them supplies, help them try and force out those who follow him.
Hell yeah.
And the others kind of, you don't know. I mean, like, no one else says anything. And then finally the Paranchai speaks up. Very well, then it is so decided. We will aid in any way we can for those who wish to partake in the upcoming battle. We must break open the cache.
Ooh. I give Sigismund a little thumbs up.
He'll nod.
Now, can you call the other two back in so we can tell them of our decision?
I'll move away from the door a bit more.
Okay, I figured you would. As the doors open, you see one of the wingless ones. Wait for you two to come in.
Yeah. Well,
Sigismund will come in and again bow and say, "Thank you for listening to us. Have you made a decision?"
We have decided to aid our companions that wish to change the way of life that has been going on within our society for far too long. Many of us may not be able to aid them physically in battle, but we will aid them with supplies and anything else we can think of to assist them. Some of us are capable of fighting, and they are willing to. So we will aid in every way we can.
Anything is appreciated, and I'll give a full bow. There's a lot of bowing in this.
Yeah, no.
Sigismund will also echo Galahad's thoughts and his bow.
This is funny. This competition between these two is going to be great.
Sigismund is not viewing it as a competition. He's just doing it because he's trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
Yes, but Galahad sees it as a competition.
I actually didn't, but now that you mention it, that would be in character.
Yeah.
I try and bow the lowest. And touch my toes and my nose to my toes as close as possible.
That's awesome.
I hurt myself a little bit. I pull my back.
Okay.
Armor's heavy, man.
Yeah.
Negative. He got a 1 as on his bow and fell on his face.
Roll for bowing.
No, you guys are fine. Okay. Do you guys leave?
Yeah.
I say, well, we don't have to discuss the details right now, but Galahad and the others might know more than I do because I only recently joined them.
Then I will
If
come
you
with
wish.
you. Parenchai says.
The queen is at the camp if you'd like to speak with her directly.
We'll speak with you guys first while the others decide on how they wish to proceed in their courses. The town will be of aid to those who wish to assist the queen in her efforts. But first, we have 2 we must take care of within the town.
Ooh, this is more my style. What do you mean?
They most definitely will take the other side. We will merely lock them up and keep them from doing anything rash.
That sounds good to me. Just make sure it's secure. We've been ratted out before.
Then
Multiple times, in fact.
he nods.
Sigismund will say that seems like the most appropriate course of action. There's no need for needless loss of life.
Agreed. We will try and do this as with as little blood spilled as possible. You
Should we
see,
take?
Oh, have a good one. You need help apprehending these people? Happy to help, trust me.
he kind of chuckles. It would be good to give them a show of force. It may persuade
Say no more. I take out the Holy Avenger. Let's go.
It may
Should
persuade
we-
them.
Should we get the others? And
I think we can handle it. You're a strong man. Let's do it.
yes, but a show of force is right now we equal them in number. A show of force would have to be greater.
We could get some.
He's got a point.
People. Actually, I guess we might as well. I mean, we could just get some of these wingless enemies, but I guess we might as well bring the whole group, and then we don't have to keep cutting between the 2 groups. So
Exactly.
You're welcome, DM.
It's the good player way of trying to pull everybody together.
Out of character, yes, that was my plan.
Freaking slacker. Jeez, you can't pick up on that? Okay, which one of you goes gets the others? Or do you both go?
I think we probably.
Well, we have to introduce him to was it Parish?
Parenchai.
Oh, yeah.
Parenchai to them anyway and explain what's going on. So it's better if we both go.
Okay.
I would think
And-
with him.
Yeah, he'll go with you. He will follow you guys out to, outside the town to where the others are. You can see them all kind of sitting there, and you can see around, like about 10 feet away, you can see small little areas that just seem to be dead. I mean, there was snow there. There's no longer snow, and it's just dead grass.
All right, dudes.
Okay, but what you said, there was snow there, and now snow is dead. I'm like, what?
No,
I'm
not
dead.
not you.
That was quick.
The snow on the ground. Sorry. Well, you had to pick the name Snow. Not my fault. Not my fault.
It's been real. I gotta go ahead and get off of here. But just PM me after this session. Let me know when you end up, and I will talk to you about where I can hop in.
No worries. All right. Talk to you later, Anthony.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, you too, my friend.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a
See
good
ya.
night.
See you in a bit, mate.
Peace.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Okay.
I just realized Arthur wasn't just a Canadian thing. Damn.
Are we back with Razik and the others?
Yes, you guys are all now together. You see Sigismund and Galahad coming, and you can see with him an older wingless one. Your best guesstimated age is he's probably close to 60s, 70s, but he still is standing upright, still moving with. It's weird because he's moving with some kind of like regal grace, and it's very odd to see from the wingless ones because most of the time, from what you guys have seen, is they tend to hunch over a bit and kind of it's almost one of those they try and shrink and not be seen kind of things. This one is standing proudly and walking.
I make my way back to Nathan, and I have the book open to the page where it has his history pretty much. And I walk up to Nathan and set the book down. It's not a coincidence that you chose this name, my friend.
He looks very
Does this ring any bells to you?
I'm watching him super carefully, and just in case it somehow sets him off or something.
Okay. As you guys approach, you see Kalidas kind of like put a book in front of him, and you heard what he said.
Oh, I guess Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, you guys all arrive at the same time. We'll just make it easy. It took Kalidas a little while to research, so you guys basically all arrive at the same time while Razik and Finn are cutting open Nathan for fun apparently. As he reads the book, you can see him reading it, but he shakes his head. No, none of this seems familiar to me. But I guess, it is weird that particular name just seemed to pop out to me. I thought it was just random, but apparently not.
So what are your thoughts on you being kind of an evil guy?
He kind of shrugs.
I know your past is over now, and you can make yourself anew. But I'm just saying.
Sigismund did detect divine sense, so he knows he's no longer. He didn't sense evil from him. He just sensed he was undead. Correct?
Yes, it was just undead. There was no evil present within him. It was just the fact that he was undead. You've done this a few times around other Trigir, as you know them. And they all registered the same way. Some register with a holy aura because they had to follow. They're a follower of someone. This one doesn't register with a holy aura. He just registers as an undead creature. That's it.
Can I insight his reaction? Okay, never mind.
You can try.
Yeah, into what his reaction is to seeing that he was kind of correct me if I'm wrong. He seems kind of an evil dude in his past.
Yeah, he was a really evil dude.
To put it lightly.
Yeah, to put it mildly. As he's reading, as you're looking at his face, he seems disgusted by what he's reading. I just did a brief overview of what Kalidas read, but it gets more in detail about what he did. Like, those who offended him, he stuck them on spikes and put them out front for display. Picture, the stories about Vlad Tepes and the kind of shit he did. That's the kind of stories that Lucius had.
Jesus.
Yeah, fucked up individual from the beginning. But it makes sense. And once Kalidas read the history, he goes, now I understand completely why he was that dude. Everything makes more sense.
I'll walk up and I'll say, well, enough about our friend Lucius here. And I'll give Galahad a look. Who's this gentleman you brought before us?
Oh, this is oh, Jesus Christ, sorry. Sorry, I got a text. Where's his name? I wrote it down somewhere.
Paranchai.
Oh, this is Fred Frock Shy. He's the sort of leader, not really, of the people around here. Me and my friend here, but mostly him, managed to convince them to join us in the coming fight. Some will be providing supplies, and some will be actually on the ground fighting.
We were told that you guys might have a little more information for us to go on and for us to better determine how to assist. He looks at all of you.
Well, anything really would be extremely helpful. Supplies, weapons, bodies, anything. If you
Sorry
have
about the internet went out.
You're fine.
Oh, good. If you have builders or carpenters who are currently trying to siege the city, if they could build walls, we need people to transport goods, anything.
Also, any kind of insight into the mind of the Nemesi would
Yeah.
help us. How do these people think? What are they expecting in a siege like this?
Well, our race, for a long time, well, the winged ones at least, excelled in siege warfare. Um, they knew exactly how to do things, so they are probably preparing for the siege against them. There are ways out of the capital city that probably are only known to a few. Um, they will probably attempt to flee and gather reinforcements in some of the other cities.
Perhaps we should pay these other cities a visit.
If you're truly intent on changing the point of view of our race, that would be helpful. The more you can convince, the harder it will be for the winged ones to get allies, because they will undoubtedly put my fellows on the front lines as cannon fodder.
Snow's going to kind of chime in here and agree and say that it would definitely be very important to have forces. And I don't know how many people you have managed to acquire in your previous trips around, but I do believe that if we can go around and try to convince people to join us, I think that we might be able to kick some butt.
Sounds pretty good to me. But I shouldn't do the talking. I found that out recently. Our other paladin friend here, he's a pretty good talker, Razzie.
Oh yeah,
Have a talk off. How about you two?
yeah.
You guys
Give
try
me
and
10
persuade each other.
minutes.
That's not fair.
I love that. Give me 10 minutes.
Is that like a dwarf thing, or what's the deal with
No,
the?
it's a spell he would cast.
No, it's not even a spell. It's just I have a feat, and
Oh, yeah,
if
that's right.
someone talks to me for 10 minutes, they got to make a persuasion versus my wisdom, or I make a persuasion versus their wisdom. If they fail, they're charmed, but it's not a spell.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
They're
They're
forgot.
just
Yeah.
natural charm.
Yep. So are you guys going to head to the other towns to cut off any possible reinforcements?
We need to do something with Nathan first, unless he's coming with us.
He's just standing there looking completely confused.
I think until he regains any semblance of his memory, he'll be pretty useless to your cause.
Yeah, we could drop him off with the centaurs, or he could join the forces that are. Sorry, join the forces leaving here to join us in the forest. It's up to him, I suppose.
Wherever you think I would be useful. I mean, right now, as a gentleman here said, unfortunately I don't know much. I mean, maybe, from what you say, I have this history, and I used to be, a god. Maybe putting a sword or something in my hand would help my brain remember.
Probably shouldn't give him the Holy Avenger. Probably give him
No.
Probably not a good idea.
Sigismund will take out his dagger and give it to him. He won't give him his magic weapon, but he'll trust him with a dagger at least.
Okay, fair enough. As he kind of holds it, he just kind of stabs in the air, and you can see he's really awkward with a dagger. Obviously not one of his weapons.
I'll walk up to him and see what you can do with this, and hand him my bow. How's this feel?
As he takes the bow and kind of pulls it back, do you give him an arrow?
Yeah, I'll give him an arrow.
Okay. He takes it, pulls it back. He doesn't aim at any of you guys. Like, he just aims at, one of the buildings just off the way. You see him pull it back. And Galetus, you've never seen the bow pull back this far. You usually don't have to because you're close enough to do it. But he pulls it back pretty far, and as he fires, You see it streak through the air. Difference is, you can see as it's streaking through the air, you can see lightning arc around it. And then as it hits the target, it actually explodes a wall.
Jesus, man.
Oops.
Well,
My eyes just go wide, my mouth drops, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Is
then.
anyone in there? Hopefully you're not dead.
He hands the bow back to you. Sorry.
Siggy's gonna say next time a tree might have been better, and then he'll run off to try to see if there's anyone in the building.
As you go check
And
the
if they're
building,
okay.
the good news is, as you check the buildings, no one was in it at the time. But it literally blew a hole through the through the wall.
Can I mend the hole?
You know what? Sure, why not? You do your mending and you manage to fix the hole. Just 'cause that's fun. You know, why not? They healed the building earlier. Might as well mend a wall.
We try to get the good side of these people and stay in their good side. Destroying their property is probably not the way. That's his thought pattern.
And it's a good one. It's a really good one. So yeah, you do manage to mend the wall.
I will look at him and say, keep the bow, my friend. Just before you go off with it, please give it back to me, because that bow is very precious. And I'll just hold on my sword.
I'm sure I can find another one in town.
Oh yeah, that works too. Then I'll take my bow back.
Yeah, he's kind of holding it to you because even he looks shocked by what happened. He's just kind of holding it to you, like, take it, please.
I'll take it back and I'll put it back where around my waist or around my chest or wherever.
Awesome.
Hey, Razik. I'll take him to the side. If he comes, anyways.
what's up?
You know how you were saying all that stuff about necromancy and how, maybe they don't have to do it on, good people, just on bad people or something like that. Well, we have here a new possible god of the undead. It might be worth it to try and convince them a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind. I mean, we got a blank slate right here, and only thing is, he doesn't seem to be too good at
Yeah.
controlling his magic by itself. I don't know what that was with that bow there, but
Still in the building. It's pretty good. But yes, he's probably still getting acclimated.
yeah, maybe we ought to try and have him bring back a bug or something.
Yeah, we can
See what happens.
soften up the god of undead. Let's see how it goes. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
that's that. Well, I'll walk back over.
Okay.
Was that suspicious?
Yeah, you guys just like randomly walked off. I mean, Galeeta's is kind of used to it because you've seen you guys do this before. Usually, you guys are talking about your next course of action, stuff like that.
I'll just say I did it through our connection, our brain connection.
Oh yeah, you can do it that way too.
Oh
That's
yeah, that
easy.
works.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So basically, Galahad and Razik just kind of seem to stare off for a second, and just like they're staring into space, and then they seem to snap out of it and come back to reality now.
All right, I'm going to go and check the library about any books on necromancy.
We're all using our library card today.
Sounds good to me, friend.
Yeah, I'm a top off.
Dickhead.
I'm gonna take the
Opium?
edge off.
Are you getting fucking opium again?
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
Hey,
He's not
you gotta
getting
do
it,
what
he's
you gotta
smoking
do.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
getting it. He's smoking it.
So I got a question.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask Galahad and Razik if we should fill in who we are with the new guys.
That probably would be helpful.
I've only talked to, I guess I only talked to Sigismund a bit about my background.
Well, I mean, I can fill them in while you guys are in the library because I've already been there. And
I'm not going to any library.
Right.
Fuck that.
It's just me.
What's that?
it's not
I
funny in
say
there.
to Galahad, maybe we should take the elder to visit the queen so they can hash out the details of how they're going to assist the effort.
There you
That
go.
might be worth. How far away is the forest from here?
Hold on.
Would it be like days or like, you know? I guess we have a bit of time. Well, not a
Just
huge
getting to
amount,
the
but
edge, just getting to the edge of it is about 80 miles from the town you're in now.
Never mind.
maybe later. Um, hmm. So Razik, we just see.
Okay, well, Razik just kind of walks off from you guys, all of you. What do the rest of you do while he does that? You see Nathan he's still reading the book Galitas gave him, and he's just shaking his head, and he truly seems disgusted by what he's reading. It's almost as if, this is a completely different person.
I'll just assist in rebuilding. Grab a hammer and some nails and start trying to board the place up a bit.
Okay.
I will fill in Snow, Finn, and Sigismund on who we are, what we do, how we do it. That's about it.
So tell him. RP it, man. RP it.
I'm not very creative. We are the divine. Yeah. We are the divine Vanguard. I was found in. Oh God, I'm not good at this. Yeah, I'm not with Galadas anyway. We are the divine Vanguard. We were all blessed by our deities. I follow Solana, of course. Galahad follows Solana. Razik follows
Hammer.
Hammer. And we were all blessed by our deities to protect Fortis and the elements. We're all touched by me. We're all touched by Solana. He's touched by Hammer. Galahad by Solana, and Kerosene is touched by a woman that walks the streets. And yeah, no, I'm joking.
Gotta fucking.
Yeah, that one.
Cyrena.
Yeah, that one. So we're all pretty much divinely chosen by our deities to protect Fortis. And I'll pretty much fill in the you could fill in the blanks because I don't know how to go really in depth of who we are.
Basically, they go around and attempt to just out Galadas, but basically what they do is they were charged with protecting Fortis, and one of those parts of protecting Fortis is to ensure that Chronons, the Devourer god, does not return to the realm of the Pantheon, because the gods fear that if he returns, he's going to come back with a vengeance and a hunger to destroy all those. That's what his original idea when he tried to take the planet the first time was to kill all the gods and kill everybody and basically take the planet for himself. So them fearing that that's going to happen, he was managed to finally tricked into being trapped into a prison, and that is now where he stays. The Divine Vanguard, you guys have heard stories back and forth about the various good deeds they've done in various places. Because you guys travel so much, you've heard the name. You just didn't realize this was the group. They do seem to be missing somebody. Gladys mentioned Kerosene, and you haven't met a Kerosene yet. Mainly because out of character, because she couldn't make it tonight.
In character, she's at the tavern.
Yeah, apparently she's at the tavern, sleeping with everybody again.
In character, she has a tendency to do that. And please don't. Please, if she has to play cards with you, don't do it.
Well,
I about died.
The character's actually a female. Kerosene's actually Kerosene's actually a male. But it's more of an androgynous character, so it's interesting.
Sigismund will say, I'll remember that, because you are also chosen by the gods. And then this is out of character. Looking at the godless, Xavier is probably the one he would most closely
Awesome. That's a good one. That's damn
So he
good.
says, Xavier spoke to me and said I had to defend this place as well.
There you go. Yeah,
Hey, welcome to the crew.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm not
Xavier's
there, actually. Never mind.
Xavier's an awesome one to have
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
because his symbol is a phoenix, and it's
My
specifically a
guy
phoenix.
on Monday.
Yeah, specifically a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's his symbol.
My guy on Monday, he almost was followed Xavier, but then I went with Zeal because they didn't have a fire domain, so
He does. You just didn't see it and didn't ask.
I did, but you were busy.
Sorry, I gotta work. But anyways,
kind of
I understand.
yeah, we can take a break. Tell you what, how about we take a quick 10 minute and give everybody a chance to go to the bathroom, get something to eat, stuff like that, and we'll be back.
By the way, how long do these sessions usually run?
Usually, it varies. We can go anywhere up to. Go ahead.
I usually ruin the fun because I have to get off pretty early for work on Fridays. I usually get off around, I don't know, I get off at 8:30 my time, so I guess 11:30 your time, I think.
Yeah, about 11:30, 12 o'clock is usually how long they run to. Sometimes
Okay,
we
so
go.
that works for me. I was just checking to make sure.
Sometimes we do.
3.5 to 4.
Yeah, sometimes we do go a little longer if the other players want to, because Jesse doesn't mind if they continue on as long as we fill them in later.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think we had like a 5-hour session.
Yeah,
Well,
we
when
did.
I first started, I could fucking play as long as I wanted because I had Fridays off, and then fucking a month later, all of a sudden, oh, by the way, you're working at 4 a.m. every Friday. Hey!
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so let's take a quick 10 minute and give everybody a chance to, get up, stretch their legs, go to the bathroom, whatever they need to do, and we'll be back in 10.
For sure, be right back.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm working on my character.
That's fine. Be right back.
Is anyone still around?
I am.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. So, like, for some reason, my house really smells like peanut butter, and it's driving me crazy.
At least it's not toast.
Toast is, I think, better than peanut butter.
Or burnt toast means you're having a stroke.
I guess fair, but like for some reason, just it smells like the overwhelming smell of peanut butter.
Did you spill peanut butter?
No, well, it's technically not my house. I'm at my mom's house right now because she's on a cruise, so I'm watching the dog. I guess it was my house, but yeah, I don't know. I just got here and it smelled like peanut butter everywhere.
I don't know if I'd like that or not.
It's not very nice. Like a little bit of peanut butter, fine.
After a
but,
while,
like, everything smelling like peanut butter? No.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
All you really missed was me complaining about my house smelling like peanut butter.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Yeah, the first thing she says, my house really smells like peanut butter right now. And it's driving me crazy. And then I was just like,
What?
How
It's
does your house
annoying.
smell?
It's like been distracting me this entire time.
How does one get?
I can't get into character because my house smells like peanut butter. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that her name? Perspicacious Snow.
That's the character's full name.
I see. Okay.
So where did you guys get your names from? Like, or did you just like think off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I haven't decided a last name for him yet.
I got mine from where it was my first story that I created in creative writing, and it was about a half elf named Galadus. It was first Galadus Dragoon, and then I changed the last name to something more elvish. Then I changed it to Hable.
I was just lazy and I looked up the Knights of the Round Table and picked one of the more badass ones that wasn't Lancelot.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Galahad's a very doesn't have a lot in common with Arthur Galahad though.
It doesn't. Isn't Galahad the one that actually finds the Holy Grail?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, exactly. He's the super Christian. He's super, into virginity and all that shit. He's about as Christian as it gets. He's your classic kind of holy knight. The classic paladin, really.
I would have picked Merlin myself.
Oh, yeah.
Merlin the Paladin.
I don't know how that works.
Did you ever see that movie King Arthur?
I've actually never seen it, no.
The new one that just came out?
Is it
It was really interesting. Very good. It was a really good, pretty good movie. I actually sat down and watched it online.
Is that the one with Charlie, what's his name? God damn, what's his name? The guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Hold on, let me go look. I'll tell you.
I got my name from it's kind of a reference to a really niche podcast that I like, where like in a certain region the naming style is like a verb and then like just a random ass noun. So basically it's perspicacious, which means like really perceptive, and then snow because it sounded good together.
Right on. Pretty cool. More creative than mine. I just looked some random shit up.
I mean, I did just do like a random. I just like Googled random verb generator and just clicked. I clicked generate until I found a word that I'm like, oh, this sounds cool.
That's my DM style.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, that one was really good. Yeah, I do like the name Snow. It's really nice. Every time I look at Finley, I keep thinking of the wrestler from WWE. He wasn't really popular. His name was Fit Finley. He was in WCW there for a little bit. He actually carried around a shillelagh. Nobody laughed at that. Never mind.
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh. It's more like a pipe, but it's like made out of wood or something like that, and you can use it as a weapon. It's an Irish weapon, I think, but it's I don't know honestly, but let me look it up. God,
It's like a wooden walking stick, club, or cudgel, typically made from stout knotty stick. Yeah, it's kind of like a mix of a bunch of, it's a weapon slash pipe slash I don't even know.
yeah,
It just looks. I don't think it actually is a pipe. It looks like one though. Definitely looks like one. I think it's like a walking stick / cudgel.
Look up shillelagh on Urban Dictionary.
I
I wasn't
don't know if I
even
want to go.
I wasn't even looking it up, but then oh my lord, that's terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, while I have time, I'm gonna go grab some water real quick. Be right back.
Gonna go get some tea.
Did anyone notice the link that I put in Discord?
Oh yeah, Arthur. I was trying to watch it, but every time I pulled it up on my phone, it was too low volume. But then I had to watch it on YouTube, and I never did get into Arthur very much.
I kind of grew up on it, but like when there was talks of using a library card, that's like the first thing that came to my head. Like I was imagining all the characters performing the song and dance. It was great.
I could have grown up with Arthur, but I just never did get into PBS unless it was like when I was a little kid. It was like Barney. That was about it. But I never got into Arthur.
Did you guys have Caillou in America?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Did you ever think about this? Did you know Caillou grows up to be One Punch Man?
That's a good theory. I like that.
Did you know that actually the cartoon people like gave him hair for a little while, like in their designs, but decided that he was too unrecognizable now, like because he didn't have hair because he was young, and then as he grew, they were like, "Oh, we should give him hair," but then he like no one would know who he was, so then they made it bald forever.
Wait, he grew up? I thought he just stayed a kid for like 2 decades.
Well, I mean,
No, he
yeah.
grows up to be One Punch Man. I mean, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Look at him. And they look almost identical.
Oh yeah. I like that theory.
It's not a theory, it's a fact.
Is it?
No.
Yeah, I got the.
Yeah, I'd like for it to be, but I don't think so.
Where is everyone from, by the way?
I'm from Vancouver.
I'm from England.
What? I had no idea.
It was the accent that gave it away.
Really?
I thought I'd best telling you, just so avoid confusion.
Might as well.
From Georgia.
Oh, I think Nebraska is as well.
Excuse me?
Are you from Georgia?
That's right.
A friend here.
I'm from
Fellow
Michigan.
Georgian.
Ah, where are you from?
Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I'm in the metro area. I mean, it's about like 40 minutes.
I am
away.
from West Virginia, USA.
All right, we got a couple of Southerners here.
Just a couple.
One northerner.
Oh yeah.
I guess London's pretty much.
West Virginia's not it's north of Mason-Dixon. Well, not
I
really
have no idea
north, but
American geography. I'm so sorry.
uh, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Virginia seceded, and then West Virginia seceded from Virginia to be in the north. Is
I
that right?
do not know.
I don't know. I mean, I was just born and raised here. I never did go through history of West Virginia, but about the closest thing I came to it was social studies. I think West Virginia broke off of Virginia um, because of their beliefs or something,
Yeah, I
or
was
the
thinking Civil
government or
War.
something like that. Maybe taxes. I don't know.
Taxes, huh?
Where is that? In the East Coast or what?
Yeah, East Coast.
It's on the East Coast.
I'm from the one that looks like a hand.
Which one's that?
And it has
Michigan.
that weird other peninsula no one goes to or talks about ever.
Yeah,
Wow.
the UP is weird.
Or even considers a part of Michigan.
I mean, it's like basically Canada. Like, you guys should just take it.
Yep.
Where did Will disappear to?
It was Civil War thing.
That'll do it.
Well, regional issues leading up to the Civil War, but pretty much.
I'm not sure. Back in high school, I could have told you everything that you wanted to know about history, but now I'm like 31 and I can't remember nothing.
Okay,
I can barely remember my name.
They've got to be asking themselves what the hell's going on in this game that One Punch Man has come up and Arthur's come up as well.
This is just what happens in the Thursday game. The most
Yeah,
random
There's
bullshit.
a lot of that, like a lot of
Just scroll up. Just scroll up.
Yeah.
If you want to hear craziness, I think like the craziest day is like Sunday. Thursday, we get a little bit more creative. Monday is just way down to business. I mean, they're funny too, but they're more like, hey, we need to get serious. Let's do this, and they get right to business. Thursday, we got a little bit of both. We can be funny. We can be down to business too, but we try to make it more fun.
Hell yeah.
I've just been especially quiet because, like, Snow is so out of her element at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of background.
Believe it or not, this is where I first started, and I was a little nervous when I got into it. I was really shy, but these guys really brought my character, brought me out of my shyness, and got me more involved. And they broke me of it, so they helped me.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'm not even shy. It's just like she's just sitting there twiddling her thumbs because she's got nothing to do right now.
Yeah, we're gonna go and actually do some stuff. Hopefully, we're gonna go visit these towns. I think. I mean, if everyone's down for that, I don't know if we explained that already, but probably do that.
Yeah, I mean, my character would probably be along for the ride now. He's pretty interested in this fallen god,
Oh yeah.
and you gave him a bit of a boner with the dragons. So.
That'll do it.
It happens. So is it possible to play without a DM?
It would be a little bit crazy, but I believe we could pull it off.
I mean, there are
Someone
certain tabletop
that doesn't
games that
control
you
the
just
world.
literally do that.
No shit.
Where everybody controls a part of the story.
I could never get a hang of those, like the fate system and all that.
I've never tried it.
It's a
What is
little
it?
bit too. It's like you can basically you get a lot more say in like what happens when you attempt to do something, like, and there's like you like expend assets and things like that to do certain things.
What do you mean? Like, how would you compare it to D&D? Like,
You
if I
get
were to,
it's
jump
the
or something like that.
it's a
D&D is
D&D
way
game.
more rule heavy.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
it's
So
got
it's
all the
more
rules in it.
story.
But it's you get like I think there's a variant to, but you can have like every player as a DM, and if they want to take over the story, they just like they get a certain amount of like
Oh,
uses of that every game, and they can just put their hand up and go, look, I'll take it over now, and they go into the DM's share, and then like the DM who was there previously plays a like NPC that was following them around, and then the new DM's character goes NPC, and then it's like that. So it seems really weird. It's like, how do you carry on a story? It seems like really chaotic. But
yeah. I think I'd be bad at that. Maybe I'm just not creative enough. I need Will's help giving me something to work off, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the
First,
problem that I feel like it might like suffer from is lack of cohesion, unless everyone's really, really on board with like the world
Yeah,
and understands, tone and all that kind of stuff. But like, even at the best of times, it can be kind of difficult.
I have a friend who's really into like the Powered by Apocalypse games, like Dungeon World, and those seem really interesting.
my first, believe it or not, my first tabletop RPG that I played was with my cousin Jack. Um, we played Vampire the Masquerade. We played Werewolf, Mage. We never got into Mage, but it was Vampire. The thing was, he was my first storyteller. Um, but the thing was, he had his own character, and he liked to play what I call God moding, which he would control his character. He made everything to his favor, and if you didn't like it, well, who on you? But I was like about 14, 15. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then I met Will just recently, and then he showed me that that's not how it's meant to be played. So, I mean, we played D&D too, but we didn't have a lot of players. It was just me and him, and he controlled the world. So it wasn't very creative. He wasn't that, I mean, not Will. Jack wasn't that creative because he didn't have a lot of players. Um, Will's more in depth. I mean, he's very creative, more than anybody I've ever known. So this is pretty much my second DM, storyteller slash storyteller.
Yeah, it's been a blast so far.
I like Vampire the Masquerade, but there's a few things about it that just seem like a bit unbalanced, which is what I don't really like about the game.
Like I've never tried it.
Has anyone ever played the Dresden Files game?
Nah.
No, sir.
It seemed like really fun. It's like modern day, except there's secret societies of wizards and vampires, fairies, fae, all that kind of stuff, but just like in a modern setting, so that you could play a sort of a mercenary, just straight up gun dude if you wanted to.
Pretty tight.
Reminds me of a book I read like when I was a kid. Can't remember what it's called.
It may have been the Dresden Files,
No,
because it was based off of a series of books.
yeah. I can't remember the name of the book now.
I am always down for some urban fantasy.
Yeah, I liked Vampire and everything. It was pretty cool. That's about the only urban fantasy I got.
Do you guys have any experience with other D&D editions?
I DM'd a 3.5 before, but honestly, I think 5e is the best so far.
Easy to get into.
Yeah, a lot simpler.
I played in
on people.
3.5. I played once in 4.0.
I'd say like the only thing I might prefer um over fifth edition is in 3.5 the like ranks were a lot better. Like you could add your skills on level up so that you can pick and choose like more specifically what you want to be good at. Whereas 5e is a little bit more limiting in what they like. Some of it's tied to your class, some of it's tied to your background, and it's only on when you take a feat can you get like proficiency in something, and even then you only get proficient in it. You can't just like bump it from like a 2 to a 3.
Did you ever try out Pathfinder?
Never did. From what I understood, it was a lot more like
It's more complicated.
way more for combat.
It's a bit more annoying in my opinion. 5e is just a lot easier, and you can. The DM has so much power; they can just make up rules and shit. It's great. It literally, like, says in the book, like, yeah, it's up to the DM. I don't care. You do it.
Yeah,
See, I'm pretty partial to 4E, but mainly because I like the skill challenge aspect of it all.
What was that?
Like, you would roll initiative like you do for any regular encounter.
Yep.
But then as you go through, you actually have to roll skill checks to, like, move the story along.
What do you mean? Oh, to like if you wanted to, tackle someone, you had to do a skill check or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. And you would just do, like, a bunch of skill checks in succession
If I remember
with each other.
If I remember everything, you had to roll for everything.
Well, yeah, that was the
Am I
point
right?
of the skill check. Like, you had a certain DC, and you had 3 failures, and then you had a certain number for a success, and then you would just have to, like, move and, like, try to work towards our goal, and then, like, the skill challenge would end.
It will disappear off the face of the earth.
I guess I'll send him a message on Facebook. I don't know why that would help, but maybe.
Maybe he's just listening to us bonding right now, and he just doesn't want to
He's
separate
just
us.
so happy. Oh my god, they're talking.
It's like, oh, I'm so proud of them.
XP for everyone.
As a DM, it is like
Yeah.
that is something you definitely want to do, because like the worst thing is when you got like a bunch of characters. Well, now what do we do? Let's just sit here and wait for some NPC to like force us to do something.
That's the nice thing about a bigger group too. More people can come up with solutions and shit. Less dead air.
So I'm just trying to make sure I'm casting this stuff at the right level and everything's working.
Ooh, the big one.
Holy crap, what the hell did I come back to?
Me
Oh, and just a heads
uh,
up, if you don't want to show all of those roles, you can do /talk to yourself, and then you don't broadcast it to everyone.
I don't care.
Flash roll.
Me and Sigmund was getting into a battle, so he used guided bolt and I was using my bow.
Yeah.
He got me first. I'm down.
I don't think. No, give me a second. I'm just trying to make sure everything works. I'm sorry.
You're fine. No, you're fine. All right.
Yeah, he killed off my character.
That massive 14 damage. Did you?
Ooh, baby.
Alright, now back to everything. Now that we're all here, right? Razik too?
Yep.
Okay.
We are.
Just checking. Okay. What do you guys do?
So we're all just. Is it like the day after? Or, I wanted to go build houses and shit.
Yeah, if you want to spend the rest of the day helping build things and stuff like that.
I mean, unless we're like leaving right now.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I guess there's no reason
I thought it was kind of like of the time of the essence kind of thing, because if word gets out and they start to get more reinforcements, especially to like we'd kind of be like hammer and anvil between the walls of the city
Yeah.
and an army. It'd be a really bad
Yeah,
situation.
let's do it.
Well, we still have to convince those two
Oh, that's right.
people
Yeah.
to go along with us.
Did we
Or-
mention that to them?
or
I
to-
think we forgot.
No, you guys haven't mentioned the
To
fact
put
that
away
Oh, right.
when we're done. That's
Yeah.
why we brought the elder here, so we could crew everyone back together.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that
All right.
part.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll get you guys back into that since Galahad and Sigismund forgot, or at least hasn't said anything. Parentrai speaks up. What are we gonna do about the two winged ones within the city that will not see our point of view?
Oh.
Why
Just
don't
leave it to us, my
you,
friend.
why don't you let me talk to him?
I would
Oh, and
prefer
also,
Give me 10 minutes.
as little bloodshed as possible.
Don't worry, I'll keep it civil.
so
Snow perks up for a little while, and then after the mention of not having bloodshed, she gets a little sad.
Bunch of
how high is Razak right now?
blood
Like she was
crazy people.
ready.
He's fairly mellow.
Can I tell?
With your insight
I
check,
mean-
yeah, that's actually a pretty decent one.
So I don't know if Galahad can put the dots together. He keeps leaving and coming back pretty mellowed out.
You know what? Roll an intelligence check, Galahad. This should be fun.
Alrighty.
Let's see if you can piece it together.
Bam, 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 bam.
Oof.
You're actually starting to piece together something's going on. Every time Razik leaves for a moment or two, he always comes back a bit mellow. There's a lot more going on.
I'll walk over to him and lay on hands him.
Oh, that's so
I,
tough.
I suddenly am overcome with a lot more pain than I'm used to.
Yeah, as soon as he lay on hands you, you're like, oh!
I was trying to get rid of the effects.
You did.
Should be
No, yeah.
restoration, though, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'll take him aside.
I'm making this a little more interesting, Sigismund. So just so you know, it's just more for story's sake.
Okay. I'm down with it.
Well, I guess you probably figured it out.
Yeah, somehow.
About time.
You know how that spellfire it hurts. It's like all of my veins are on fire all the time, unless I either get rid of it, which I can't because I need to heal or hurt the right people, or I can go off and take the edge off.
There's
Right.
got to be another way.
Razik,
What are you using?
Razik, you do hear in your head from your dragon, you know you can give it up if you want. It will be painful, but you can give it up without ruining anything. It will just leave your body.
Well,
Well, I know I can give it up. I can give up this spellfire, but I feel like I'd be I don't know, chickening out. And there's people that can benefit from this.
look, man, you're my oldest friend in this group. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, surprisingly. But I'm worried about you, buddy. There's got to be another way, maybe, that we could study. Maybe we could find a different way of easing the pain.
I'm open for any ideas.
Does Sigismund overhear this conversation?
Yeah, you guys are pretty close. You didn't walk too far away.
That's why
Well,
I said
okay.
we walk closer.
Okay, fine.
That's the whole point.
Okay, fair enough. Sigismund,
Sorry,
roll a
sorry.
perception check. We'll see if you pick up on it. That way it makes it fair. So if he hears you,
Yeah,
I'm
I am
pressing
very-
and nothing's happening.
it does that sometimes. I don't. We've tried to figure it out, and then usually later it'll pop up a bunch of times. Do you have it set to query advantage?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have it set to query advantage? Sometimes that's what's keeping it because it's asking you in another window whether or not you want to advantage or not.
Oh, yes, yes, I see that.
That's why it stopped it. You overhear bits and pieces. You don't hear the full thing. Something's happening with the most
Do I overhear him mention he's in pain?
that much you hear. Yeah, it seems like Razek's in pain because he said it a little louder than he wanted to because he's got pain racking through him. So he didn't realize he said it as loud as he did.
I'm super loud, just generally.
Yeah,
The
Galahad
Gizman is
isn't
gonna
quiet.
go up to him and say, are you hurt? What's wrong?
Well, I got sort of this ability. I can kind of channel it to either force out a lot of this magical fire, and it can either heal or hurt. But
it really hurts.
And this
When
causes
I'm-
you pain?
the more I store, the more it hurts. When I use it up, the pain fades away.
Is this some sort of curse that's been laid upon you?
I took it up voluntarily.
It's extremely powerful. It's turned the tide in a few fights, and
Is
Russ
it?
rose up many times.
And he'll
If I
also
recall.
ask if there's a way to, like, not make it so you're in pain all the time.
I hold up my opium pipe.
Like, he's trying to see if he can use, like, a restoration spell or healing spell or something
You
that can,
can,
like,
you
kind
can
of suss that out, basically.
you can attempt it or you can ask. I mean, he may have already had these things try and happen to him, so I mean, you may want to ask if he's, if anybody's tried that.
Has anyone tried to restore you?
Well, there have been a couple attempts, but healing just kind of seems to fix my body in a physical sense. You know, cuts, bruises, that kind of thing. But the pain's deeper than that. So far, meditation's helped a little. It's more about coping with it rather than actually lessening it.
I'm trying to go through all these spells that I have.
Anybody have any alchemy training?
Helmet.
Let me see.
I mean, even the new guys. Did you guys pick up some like alchemy supplies or stuff like that?
Nope.
I picked up an extra language.
Is heresy?
Does that come on the simple weapons?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
Where are we on the map?
Right there.
Okay, we're still in town.
You guys are just like, because the rest of the group was just outside town. You're like maybe 100 yards or so from the town. I mean, you guys can see the walls and everything. You can see the town and everything. But you guys were kind of far enough away so you could have your little conversation and work on Nathan trying to get his abilities back without causing too much damage. So, other than Parent Chai, no one else from the town is near you guys. It's just you guys and Parent Chai and Lucius, as he's being called.
Sigismund, do you know of any way of easing this pain?
I do, but it is beyond my skill.
What is it?
Well, one would be to cast regeneration on him.
What's that do?
I don't know. Is this metagaming? Like, would he know? Like, he.
Oh yeah, you don't know the spell.
If you don't know the spell, I would say you would at least know. You would have knowledge of the fact that other people have used certain things. You are getting trained in that kind of aspect, so it would be something that you'd at least have some knowledge on. You just don't have the ability to use it yet. You know, it's like basically you know about it, but you don't have the capability, you don't have the magic within you to be able to cast such a spell.
Yeah, so he's like, it's not a curse. Restoration won't remove it, but regeneration might ease the pain a little bit because it constantly fills you with strength, essentially. Out of character, the spell basically just keeps on giving you health for the duration of the spell,
What's the duration?
like over time.
I can't remember. I'd have to look it up.
It's an hour long.
Eh,
Yeah, so for an hour, basically.
Yeah, I don't
be-
think it's worth casting a 7th level slot though, do you? For an hour.
no.
Not worth. Oh, it's. I wonder if there's any.
Also, out of character, there's a ring of regeneration that might help.
New personal quest for Galahad. Get Razak off drugs by finding some to ease the pain. Writing it down in my bonds.
That's why I gave you guys journals.
I'll walk up at this point. So, we heading to deal with these two guys or what?
Yeah, I guess that's probably a good idea.
Not kill. Restrain.
Oh yeah, we're capturing, right?
Yes, please.
Snow stands up and says, I can aid in this.
Hell yeah. Alright, let's fucking go in over there. Bust down the door.
It's like, well, hopefully, merely our presence will be enough to cower them.
Let me just walk up there and do the talking before we go and
What? Come on, you always say that. I just want to. I just want to.
before we go in, rune shots ablazing. Let's just try out the diplomatic approach.
Always with the diplomatic approach. Fine.
Parent Chai speaks up. I would greatly appreciate it if we did it that way. I don't want to harm them. They're just
Me neither.
misguided in their
Just
thought
scared.
process.
They've been raised that way, so they don't know a different way.
So, are we like right outside?
Yeah, we'll say as you guys are, because Parent Chai is leading the way because he knows exactly where they live. So you guys are walking with him, and you're having this discussion as you're walking.
All right. Enhance ability,
Okay.
and also, what is it? Guidance.
Okay. All right, you guys go up to the first door. Parent Chai knocks. You see a winged Nemesi open the door. What do you want, Parent? These gentlemen here wish to speak with you. I ask that you please at least step outside and hear them. And he kind of looks at Parent Chai and then looks at the rest of you. Notices the unique mix of your group. He sighs, and as he walks out, you see a longsword and a short sword on him. Very well. As long as we're just talking. He stands kind of on his porch and just kind of leans against his door jamb and looks at you guys.
All right, and that's dang. For a +10, that's kind of low. All right.
I know, that is
Plus,
kind of low.
plus a D4.
Yeah, plus your D4.
All right.
23, that's not bad. What do you say to him?
My friend, you got to understand that this division between these two peoples, that's only holding your race back. Could you imagine the kind of force that you could be on this planet if you just came together, stop this simple and primitive distinction between the two? You could rise up. You could have an entire group of people who could train to fight like you, who are taught the same things that you are, who can potentially lead troops in battle and accomplish things that are right now going completely unnoticed. Who knows how many inventors, generals, geniuses are going to be wasted away just because they never got the same chance that you did. Now, what do you say? You think you ought to help these people rise up and bring the Numisi back to the position they truly deserve to be in? Or are you just going to let things sit stagnant like they always have been?
Yeah, look, should you? You do kind of have a point. We have become kind of stagnant since our original emergence to this planet.
And I think this is an opportunity here for you to stop that. Now, I know we don't want to instigate. We never intended to instigate any kind of fighting, but it appears that the more traditional minded didn't want things to change that much. Dang.
Galahad, he does seem to be true in at least thinking things over. Whether or not he's going to change is different.
What he said, though, how he was saying, okay, so he's seeming, he's not in a total asshole.
Yeah, what Razik said seemed to strike a chord with him. More
That was
specific.
inspiring as hell.
Yeah, more specifically when he's referring to the fact that, can you imagine what you can accomplish as a united whole? That seemed to really strike a chord with him. He does seem to be rethinking some of his philosophies, but no matter what, getting rid of that will take time. I mean, that's not something you could just easily get rid of.
They'd also have to basically, sorry, out of character, they'd have to stop worshipping Chronons. Do they all worship Chronons? I'm sorry, I forgot. Or was it just
No, basically the way it breaks down is within the winged. The wingless don't follow Chronons at all. They've since lost all contact with them. They follow Strike, which is the goddess of the Nemesis now.
Right.
Between the winged ones, it's a division of. There are many who believe that Strike should be the new goddess, and Strike is the one who promotes equality within the ranks because she knows how strong they could be as a whole if they united like that. And then you have the followers of Chronons who are, it's just one of those, they've been so set in their ways for so long that they don't know any other way. They don't want to see it any other way. So that's basically a division. It's about, if I recall correctly, I can't remember the exact numbers I gave, but it's probably about 75 to 80% within the wing community who still worships Chronons. They're not all dicks, that's just the way they've been raised. So the Queen has been trying with her effort to, show them the other way. And you guys kind of kick-started that a little faster than she was ready for.
All right, cool. Thank you.
I'll give
So
it
we
some,
could.
I will give it some thought. I will,
No, we
however.
could use.
Go ahead.
We could use all the help that we can get. Now, how long would you say that we've been talking?
You know what? I'll give you your 10
9
minutes.
minutes and 59 seconds.
I'll give you your 10 minutes.
All right, I gotta make a gotta make a persuasion check versus their wisdom, which I do get the advantage on because the persuasion check is still under the enhanceability effect.
Mhm.
24.
Nice. Oh,
All right. Charm for 10 minutes.
wow, yeah, you got him.
And even if you rolled a max, if you got a
Yeah,
20
yeah,
plus
even,
3, he'd get a 23. So he would have got it anyway.
yeah, no matter what, he would have gotten it.
You with a natural 20?
Natural 20s are a little iffy. For skill checks, they're actually not supposed to be affected that way. Natural 20s are only supposed to be for combat. After rereading, I noticed that. I allow it for skill checks because I think it makes for more interesting thing, like Sigismund's inside of 8 would be
Yeah.
basically a pure failure. So basically, he would read, "I don't know, can't tell."
He seems to be
Yeah.
speaking words.
Yeah, I mean, I just make it. I do it more for show, and I do it more for the story, and that way. But technically, the natural 20s and the natural ones really are only supposed to affect combat.
Just make things more fun.
Yeah, it always fills it out more with stuff like that. But yeah, with a natural 20, I probably would have said he still failed just because he still got lower. It just would have been, it's easier to do it this way now that he's rolled so low. So it was easier to charm him. It just would have been harder. I would have, made it so that he gets another roll within the next round to try and break it quicker.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so you guys notice that
So-
this Nemesi seems to kind of stare at Razik, and he begins, just nodding, and he seems to accept what Razik is saying.
So what do you say? You can be one of these generals that led this uprising that can be honored in the annals of history as one of the ones who brought this race together and made them the powerhouse that they are in the future.
He nods.
Can you be that general?
He nods. You see him grab the Chronon symbol he was wearing and rips it off.
Hey!
I messaged Razik. Is he gonna feel that still once we stop talking to him, charmed or whatever?
That's the curse. Unfortunately, he knows afterwards he's been charmed.
Well,
Yeah.
he's not like charmed in the,
Yeah.
in the spell sense is the thing. He's just, oh wow, I really like that guy for that 10 minutes.
I pictured it like as you're talking, like you're kind of wooing him, but after we leave, is he still gonna be like, "Oh, that guy had a great point"? I'm just kind of curious,
That's
or would we even know?
you really don't know. It's on a case by case basis. I mean, even before while he was talking, it did seem that he was, involved in what Razik was saying, and he did seem to agree with some of the things Razik said. Like I said, specifically about his race coming together as a whole and being a much stronger race that way. He did seem to agree with that. It just seems like he needed a little push in the right direction in order to really for him to let go of those old shackles that were keeping him down.
Rule number 1 of persuasion: find out what they want and exploit it.
Exactly.
I'm just scared because we came here to arrest this guy because he's such a super devout follower. How do we know? I'm just scared that he's BSing us and he's just gonna run and tell him.
You don't know. It's a risk you take. I mean, pulling
Yeah.
off the
What about
Chronon
an
symbol.
18 insight?
Pulling off the
Can
Chronon
I
symbol
get
is
your-
a huge thing. I mean, they wouldn't do that unless.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that's a big indication that he's probably going to stick with the course that's going on now.
Can I get your word as a Nemesi warrior that you're going to help champion our cause and upbring your people to their true and natural state?
I will do my best. I will do the best of my abilities to help train these ones and show them how to fight without the wings.
I'm gonna clap him on the shoulder. Well, maybe well, as high as I can reach. I'm gonna clap him on like his hand.
Mind you, he's 8 feet tall.
Glad to hear. Yeah, it's like, yeah, clap his forearm.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
He stands on Galahad's shoulders.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. So, well, you got the one. Parentrai goes, "Glad that went the way it did." The gentleman just starts walking off. He looks at Parentrai. "Where do you need me?" Parentrai gives him location. He heads that direction. He goes, "However, the other one's not going to be so easy. He's a cleric of Chronons."
Maybe a different tactic then.
Oh yes, yes,
He
yes,
nods.
yes.
Hold on.
Oh,
Just-
come on, what? What,
Uh,
Razik?
this
What,
is a-
Razik, please.
I'm gonna try and scare him into.
Scare me, I can't be frightened.
Not you.
No, yeah, I'm gonna try and scare the other guy. I'm trying to intimidate him.
Okay, that's
into coming away peacefully.
Okay.
Hey, does that thing work with intimidation too? That 10 minutes?
Nope.
What?
Okay, I didn't know if it
yeah.
did.
Your little thing. No, that doesn't work with
Yeah.
intimidation. It's only...
I thought you were talking about enhance ability. It does.
No, yeah, that does, yeah.
No, I was talking about like after 10 minutes, where
No,
if they're trying to scare them, because I know you can persuade them. I didn't know if it can work with intimidation or not.
No.
that's a harder thing to do, and that's why they limited it that way.
Yeah, it's just because
Like your
it's
best
specifically
charmed.
right. It's specifically called diplomat. Like it's for more, peaceful and well, diplomatic kind of encounters.
Okay.
Sweet.
Parent child leads you directly to the Temple of Chronons.
Along the way, Sigismund will try to talk to Razik quietly and in Dwarvish, so no one else will overhear.
Damn it.
All right.
Snow speaks this language, so if you don't want her to hear, you might want to pick another one.
Okay, well, I don't know how to roll for that, so no one else will hear. He
Unfortunately,
doesn't really.
Doesn't Razik have a helmet of comprehend languages?
yes, he does.
I do. But I mean, I can
Wait,
understand.
he can speak any
I
language.
know it's like I speak Dwarfish. I'm a
Yeah.
dwarf.
Oh yeah, well, Sigismund doesn't know you have comprehend languages, so he knows you're a dwarf, so he'll speak in Dwarvish.
And not only
He'll
that,
say it quietly.
yeah, not only that, Sigismund doesn't know that Snow knows Dwarvish. I mean, you guys don't know what language
That's
is.
true.
So, I mean, you're going to say it in hope that those are the only Razik knows. So, I mean, it's just the way it goes.
Basically, he's going to say, while the outcome was favorable, the decision needs to be made of their own free will, otherwise it has no meaning. He's specifically referencing he noticed that you cast a spell on him.
No, I didn't.
He
I
didn't
didn't
cast a
It's not a spell though.
Yeah, technically it's not a spell. It's a feat is really what it is.
He's
Yeah.
just a really good talker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sweet
like
dog.
they are charmed, but only by like words, not by any kind of magical means.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah, a lot of what happened was more of free will, but it was just, basically all Rezik did was kind of push him over the edge of the thoughts he already had, and kind of pushed him in the direction that he already wanted to go. It was just one of those, he was scared to take that step. Razik just merely convinced him that it's better to take that step than keep hiding in the background.
Okay, that's fine. Sigismund will just have an aversion to people like trying to mind control essentially other people to get them to do what they want
Fair enough.
magically.
Makes sense.
Oh boy. Well, sorry about that, bud.
Wait till Kerosene comes around.
Oh
my
yeah.
god, yeah.
She's gonna be a fun.
Is there anybody important in our party besides Galahad, me, and Razik?
Wow, that's just mean.
I don't mean it like that. I meant like, you know what? You know what? I bet you Keresy's going to try to sleep with Doohickey, with Nathan.
I mean, yeah.
Possibly.
Watch her. Watch her. I bet you.
Good perception.
I bet you everything all my gold on my character.
She probably.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
Playing
believe
this
you.
in character too. When Keresy gets back from whatever she's doing, I bet that she's going to sleep with Nathan.
All of them. It's her thing. Just
Yeah.
do all of them.
She
We
does that for
don't
everything.
know. We don't know how he is oriented, but we'll see. Anyhow,
I mean,
we got.
history has-
What's the
He's
situation
undead, he's
looking
still
like
dead.
inside this temple?
Like his blood doesn't work right too. It's acid. Like I don't understand.
It's not acid. It's just what it does is it decays the ground. It's not eating away at the ground. It just makes
And
everything.
his other bodily fluids, do they do this also?
You have no
God.
idea. Good question.
Jesus.
Okay, how is this temple looking as far as like people inside and more specifically those that are armed?
As you guys approach the temple, you feel off-put. You can definitely feel the presence of Chronons, for lack of a better term. It's like going into any holy temple.
Oof.
Within a fantasy realm, you feel the presence of the god. In this case, it's Chronons. So you're feeling uncomfortable just getting near it. As you get closer, It's not enough to push you away, but it definitely makes you feel really off.
And like, how many people are inside?
This place is empty. As you walk
Oh.
inside, you only see one person. Parent Chai goes, there he is. You can see it doesn't
Can I
have a
do
lot of.
perception?
My perception, yeah.
You are welcome to do perception checks anytime you want. Like I said, you guys never have to
Oh.
roll. If you guys want, if
Ooh,
you guys,
something I'm good at.
yeah, if you guys want to do it, you're welcome to do it without having to ask. Damn,
Paladins
Oh,
together.
just kidding.
Hell
Not very
yeah.
good.
better than the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was the +7 though. That's just
I
really
know
bad.
that's sad. Okay.
That is quite sad.
It was almost a fail.
Galetus and Snow. As you look around, yeah, he's the only one in the temple. It doesn't seem to bother him though. He seems proud of his little, temple to Chronons.
What's his name again?
A one-man army.
Damn you, I hate you, Razak.
Huh?
Just to be clear, Kronos is registered that his alignment would be evil, right?
Oh yeah, chaotic
Super
evil.
evil.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, Chronon's alignment technically would be chaotic evil because of the way he is. He's the devourer. That's his name for the commoners. They don't even call him by Chronons. They call him the devourer.
I didn't catch the.
Yeah, because I didn't give it to you because you didn't ask. And now that you're asking, I'm looking up a name. Oops. Amerd is the cleric of Chronons.
All right.
He looks at you all walking in. He notices the various symbols. Looks very confused, but walks up. Welcome to the temple. How can I assist all of you?
Same as I will
Amar?
say, it smells in here.
Bring it.
Oh boy.
Bring it
Listen
home.
up. You got to know that the tide is turning and it's not in your favor.
Damn.
You can either come along quietly, or we can get loud.
I'll cast Thaumaturgy on him to make his voice louder and to make the ground shake.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Somewhere out of nowhere, Razak, your voice becomes very loud, and you can feel the ground shake as you speak.
Not like super loud, like Gandalf, and when he gets all pissed off in Lord of the Rings.
Yes. But
Will
you're,
not pass.
but you're also in an empty temple, and it echoes
Ah.
perfectly. That's why it enhanced.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so you really helped enhance it even more. Amerd kind of backs away as, Razak begins speaking. I will not falter in my beliefs to anyone.
Oh, I was so hoping you'd say that.
You had your choice.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So happy
All
about
right.
this.
I'm going to cast Dominate Person.
Okay.
Are we rolling initiative?
We'll see if this works first. If not, then yes, roll
Yeah.
initiative.
It's a DC 8. Beguile a humanoid, must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed for the duration.
He succeeds.
I'll cast, I'll use Channel Divinity and I'll use, oh, god damn it, the one that wraps him up. 1 second. Sorry.
All good. Yeah, as Razak, as you go to, try and dominate him, you could see him clutch his holy symbol of Chronons, and you can see the sickly purplish green aura kind of surround him, and it just doesn't work.
It spell hasn't worked yet.
It's Channel
I know.
Divinity, Nature's Wrath. As an action, you can cause spectral vines to spring up and reach for a creature within 10 feet of you that you can see. The creature must succeed on a strength or dexterity saving throw, its choice, or be restrained. While restrained by the vines, the creature repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a success, it frees itself. That's a hell no.
How is your character Oath of the Ancients?
Oh hell yeah. I'm
It's just-
Solana, baby. I
I
preserve
know,
my
but how
own
you
life.
act doesn't to at least to me it's like
He's a weird one.
Why?
You just kind of accept it.
I see more as like the holy upright warriors, one of the boring. Where is it here? What are the other classes? Not the vengeance, the other one though.
there's a crown and there's devotion.
Yeah, devotion is boring as shit. I see that as like the upright knight. I thought this would be more offbeat, I
Ooh.
guess.
Just so you know, in Xanathars, they're adding an Oath of Conquest.
And redemption.
Hell yeah. Check that out.
Okay. So, Galahad, you hold your holy symbol, you pray to Solana, and you can see the spectral vines creep up. You can see him look, and he tries to fight it off, but they hold him.
Can I just
Freeze,
cast
motherfucker.
something really quick?
Sure.
I'm gonna cast command. I don't have it set, but it's one I always make sure I'm gonna say surrender. Because I don't want to kill him.
You were asked not to as well.
I'm restraining him.
Yeah, he is restrained.
Could I like bop him on the head with my quarterstaff and knock him out so then he doesn't struggle?
We have to hit him multiple times.
Yeah, it's going to take more than a
I
bot.
have 2 attacks plus bonus actions. I got this. I can just hit him in the head a bunch of times.
Wisdom save.
The wisdom
Oh, yeah.
saving throw, my DC I believe is 18, but let me check.
That's possible. All right, well, let me see if he succeeds on this, or it could make things
Yes,
a lot easier.
It's 18.
That's such a good spell.
He
We're
fails.
spending shit.
He fails, and he just gives up. You see him just kind of relax his pose.
God damn, we're good.
Does he drop any weapons if he's able to, or like? at
He didn't
least
have
at
any
least,
weapons on him. The only thing he was clutching was his holy symbol. So he lets go of his holy symbol and just kind of, you can see he physically surrenders.
I'm going to cast Catapult on his holy symbol.
I was gonna step on him with the divine smite, but that works too.
Well, you have to get it off of him first. It's still around his neck.
I thought it said it. Didn't he say he dropped?
No,
You
he
don't
was
have mage hand?
he
Just
dropped
grab
his
it.
hand off of it. It's like a necklace, and he was holding on to it. Like a pendant. He was holding on to it to try and
I
protect
see.
himself, and then he dropped his hand because the command succeeded. Barely, but it succeeded.
Okay. So, like, it would just, like, kind of tug against his neck, or?
I can just grab it from him.
How is he
He's
bound?
Restrained. He's completely and utterly restrained.
He's restrained by spectral vines that just appeared out from the ground underneath him and just kind of wrapped him up.
Oh, I thought. Okay, I was using the Maximilian Grasp, but never
Yeah, I
mind.
thought that did that not hit as well?
Oh, I didn't hear that. Hold on.
No, I put it up there.
Okay.
That might have hurt him though.
So he's like, he got some earthbender shit, and then he got vined. He's not going anywhere.
His strength sucks.
Never mind.
Well,
JK, well,
The one time he gets a natural 20. The
Is
Earthen
he-
Grasp does
so he-
not work. But he still is restrained by the vines. And commanded to
I'm looking at my pendant like,
yeah, it happens every so often. And he is commanded to surrender, so he does. I mean, you guys basically did a bunch of shit at him all at once, and it worked.
I'm gonna walk off and take off his holy symbol then.
Okay, he doesn't stop you.
if you catapulted it, it would have taken his fucking just head right off. I guess.
Sigismund, roll a wisdom saving throw.
God. I
oh,
get a plus for protection. Yes.
oh, do you get, yes, are you in the,
I have one too around myself.
oh, all right.
Yeah, you're
It's
doing
also
great.
+5 with my
Plus 5?
aura protection.
Okay, so 20. Okay. You manage to fight it off. You can feel an influence try and grab a hold, but your strength of will is stronger, and you manage to fight it off as you're holding the symbol. And it's almost as if you can kind of see the symbol, Because the symbol is basically just a circle with a bunch of teeth on the inside, and you can almost see the circle kind of spin for a minute, and then it stops.
Can I crush it with my hand?
Strength check. Nope.
I don't know if we're okay.
You try,
I'm
and
trying real hard though.
yeah, you're like, oh, I want to kill that thing. Ah, it's not working. No, I would have
I
recorded
swipe it from his hand.
from Sigismund's hand. Sure.
Yes.
I warn you first about the effect that it has, because I felt that thing and tried to take my mind, right?
She called for it, so roll a sleight of hand check.
I mean, you didn't say anything about it.
Oh yeah, so
'Cause
I'm
this is almost-
opposing her, right?
Yeah, this is almost immediately afterwards. Like, she just goes to try and grab it. So she's going to do a sleight of hand to see if she succeeds. You do a dexterity check, see if you can beat it. This will be fun. Oof.
Well,
This
Okay.
is
Okay then.
Snow, roll a wisdom
I'm
saving
sorry,
throw.
real bad.
Okay,
Real
so
bad.
does he go now, or are we doing the initiative?
You guys,
Or what?
no, you guys have him under control. Sigismund gave the command order to surrender, and he surrendered. So you.
I just want to crush the amulet, but
what was it?
I
I'm
don't
gonna-
think I survived
Oh,
the
shit.
wisdom save.
Oh shit.
You get +5 since you're with him. You're with +5. You're next to me.
And
That's
plus
true,
4.
yeah.
Wait, does it stack?
You know what? I'm gonna let it stack for this one. Just cause.
Hell yeah.
Normally, no, it doesn't. Normally, it would only be one.
Really? That's a shame. That's a real shame.
Yeah, normally they wouldn't technically stack. I mean, I'd have to look into it, but I think they don't stack. But I'm going to allow it for this one, just for flavor. You feel, Snow, you feel the same thing Sigismund did. Some kind of presence tries to enter you, and you can almost see the teeth kind of spin. But something prevents that from happening. You feel some kind of strength that you didn't even realize you had within you yourself kind of come out, and it fights it off.
Ooh.
Awesome. So now I'm gonna roll and try to crush it.
Yep.
Sigismund is also going to say, "Be careful. It'll try to take your mind."
Good to know.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for nothing.
Well, you took it faster than I could say
Also,
that.
I am rolling for shit.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Jeez. With a plus
What's,
8, that's
what's-
pretty shitty.
She still
What's
gets the
these
plus
do right now?
5 or whatever we're doing. I'm not too sure.
Okay, so it's 15.
It's not, I think it's only in saves. It's not in
Okay,
checks,
can
right?
I want
Oh,
to
do
try
you wanna say?
something.
This should be a strength check, not a strength save. Sorry.
I want to try something.
Hold on. Reroll it with the strength check. Snow, not a save.
so, so close.
She does a backflip.
Yeah. You start to crush it a little bit. It's still tough though. You have a feeling you need a bit more strength to crush this. Something like ogre strength would be helpful.
Or I
Well,
take
yeah,
out
that
the
would help.
sword and I smash it with a divine smite.
In her hand, that would be painful.
Put it down.
Oh, wow.
I say put it down.
Okay, she puts it down on the ground.
I'm gonna go ahead and enhance ability, and which one is it? Bull's strength.
Ooh.
Nice. Galetus, did you want
I'll
to do
go
anything
ahead.
beforehand?
Oh no, this is it.
Hold on. Galetus, did you want to do
Yeah, that's right.
Is it around his neck?
No, they've since taken it off. It went from Sigmund's hand, who couldn't seem to crush it. And then Snow grabbed it. She tried to crush it, and she got a little bit. It actually dented
Oh,
it.
I thought it was around his neck.
No, it's not
okay.
around his neck anymore.
I was wrong. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just sitting there watching.
Yeah,
What's Nathan doing right now?
he's just watching you guys, like, completely amazed by what you guys are doing. He's just kind of
Yeah, we make it
in
very
awe
easy.
right now.
Oh, I'll be standing next. Just the same. You know.
Just in case. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll take out the sword and
Sword.
I'll swipe at this thing. And I'll throw a divine smite into it.
And he always has to sing when he strikes. Trust me, that will happen every time.
Oh yeah, I should have done. Yeah.
He's going ham with this.
Yeah, he is. He always does.
Is it just an attack or like a strength check? Or...
Just do an attack. It has hit points.
All right. I'm assuming that hits at the very least.
It does hit. Add your divine
All right,
smite.
What is
Yeah.
does the enhanced ability do anything for him there, or
Does it give me anything for attacks, or is it just like?
it says
Your strength should change your modifier for damage, right?
Yeah,
you
it
have
would.
advantage on strength checks.
Okay, it's not a check. Yeah, it's a pure roll.
All right. So that hits. So I'll throw a pretty good divine smite. I'll do it at third level.
Yeah, you have a
Which would
feeling this
be-
symbol's pretty powerful, and you're gonna need the extra push.
Fourth level. and and I also have the improved divine smite, just so you know. So it adds 1d8 to all my attacks.
Okay.
So total would be 6d8.
Phew, yeah, roll it. This
And does this is whole radiant damage? Does that do anything?
not to the symbol, because the symbol
enough.
technically doesn't get affected by that.
All we're trying to do is break a necklace.
Yeah, I know,
Is this
right?
considered? Is it considered a magical object?
Yep.
Okay.
Damn. Holy crap.
That's pretty good.
As you swing your sword down and just slam it, sparks fly. You all hear, and then as you look down,
Oh,
it's in pieces.
oh, that was awesome.
Well, that was productive.
How does the priest react to this? The cleric.
He's under the surrender thing, so he's actually surrendered. But he looks terrified.
Does that have like enough? Is it gonna like only last like a minute or something?
I can technically roll, but
Technically, in combat, only lasts one round.
yeah. But for
But
fun,
he's also restrained, so he's not going anywhere.
yeah, he still didn't make it.
Well, he also has to make saves against my thing pretty much every.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not rolling that
Let's
off.
tie him up.
End of each of its turns, technically, but I don't know if since we're in combat,
Nah,
not in
we're,
combat rather.
yeah. We'll just say, we'll just say for now he fails his rolls.
Does,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So we noticed that spark. I'm sorry. Trying to figure out the button. We noticed that it felt like an energy come out of that amulet. Like, can I divine sense and see if there's anything? I'm specifically targeting the amulet to see if there's any residual evil or anything on that.
Good move, actually. That was a really good move. Very little, and it's fading.
Okay.
Killed it.
I want to wait until it's completely gone, and then mend it.
Interesting.
Why?
This is table talk, but mending doesn't restore the magical properties of it.
No, it
So
just
it'll
it just
just
puts
be
it back together.
It'll just, and I want to give it back to him so it can provide him. He seems to still follow Kronos or whatever. And if he has it, it might make him more complacent, but it has no power.
You do you.
Yeah, basically what you guys did was take away the power within the amulet.
That's his train of thought.
Okay.
As soon as the amulet is destroyed, the building begins to shake.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Never mind. We're leaving.
I book it out the door.
Okay. You guys
I
all...
was probably the first one out of
The
there.
cleric first.
Snow's like, peace!
You want to make an athletics to carry this guy out? Or do your vines break? Can I say drop the
Let's
vine?
see.
Yeah, I mean...
It just says they spring up and reach him, so I'm assuming they're stationary. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, heck, drop the
they're
vines.
stationary.
Oh yeah, I'll drop the vines and try and carry this guy. How big is he? I'm pretty strong.
Well, Sigismund was trying to carry him too, so I mean, we'll say both of you
Oh,
together.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can probably.
Well, he's got bullet
Oh,
strength, so
yeah.
his carrying capacity is doubled.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to see, does the guy look scared of us or something else?
He
Was that
looks
inside
more
there?
scared of what happened to the amulet.
Yeah,
Or as if
was
he's
it-
more terrified of what the repercussions will be of that.
Okay.
That gives me advantage on strength checks, or
Yeah, you
does
guys are fine.
athletics count as a strength check?
Yeah,
Or-
you guys are fine. You guys are fine.
You know what just occurred to me?
Hmm.
Now, this is a good question. What if one of the stones was that necklace? He was the
Oh.
only one in there.
You don't know. As soon as you guys get out, the entire place collapses.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Whoa.
I think you guys pissed something off.
Good.
Or someone.
Well,
Evil has no place in this world.
oh, preach it, brother. Can we take this? Sorry.
Sorry, it's
Oh.
so random and awesome.
Yeah. Can we take this guy to the prison? I'm assuming they
Yeah, you
said
guys.
they had some.
Yeah, you guys escort him to their makeshift prison, and you guys put him in there, untie him because let him move around at least, and then basically we'll just say the spell ends at that point, and he finally breaks free. He's not happy about being caged, but it's one of those you kind of acquiesces because he has nothing to do. He grabs a symbol, you can see him try and pray, nothing happens.
Killed your god. Sorry.
Oh wait, he doesn't
least
even
in the
grab his
next-
symbol. I forgot. He doesn't even grab his symbol. He goes to grab it and realizes it's gone. So he just kind of sits down in the corner and just kind of puts his head down. He looks like a defeated man.
Just goes to bed. I'm done. This day sucks.
Fuck, this sucks.
I've been there. Oh shit! It's 8:30. I unfortunately have to get going soon.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to leave it there as you guys head on to the next town and try and convince them?
What town are we going to?
Not sure. That's a question you guys have to answer. Well,
If you guys want, you can play.
You guys know
Don't really-
Rayadar is the place where you started. That's the capital city. So you've already been there, and that's where you started this whole thing. Plus, it's under siege. So Negwil or Abirdify would be your two choices.
I said we go to a butterfly.
Either way, we have to go through the forest, right? Where's
I don't know. I think we ought to go to Neckbeard, though.
Neckbeard. I love the fact that you guys are just making up names for these places.
I mean, I'm not even gonna try. These names are.
I know they were intentionally messed up.
Where's Nair?
The northwest corner. There.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Neckbeard.
Yeah, if you guys want to play without me,
Night.
I don't mind at all.
I'll follow you guys. I'm not the leader.
I'm leaving it up to the players as a group decision. Would you rather wait and have all of you here, where you guys can do, go to the next town, do that, or would you rather continue on, and we'll leave off after that? It's up to you guys.
I'm lazy.
I prefer.
It's up to you,
continuing,
Razak and
but-
Galahad.
I mean,
Oh, I don't care at all. Feel free.
Yeah, he's already said it doesn't matter.
I just need to get filled in on Facebook or something.
Yeah, we'd fill you in. Man.
And don't kill me.
I'm
Unless
not.
it's really
rather-
in a dumb way. That's fine.
I never kill
If
characters.
we're-
that way.
actually, since Sigismund learned that you're Oath of Agents, he's actually more friendly to you now.
Razik, you were saying?
since we're already down Kerosene, don't want to be doing too many things without players present.
Fair enough. That is a good.
Yeah,
point.
I just at least decide where we like to go.
Okay, yeah. How about you guys make a decision on which town you want to go to? Going through the forest. The good news is, the centaurs run the forest, so they could probably help you get to the next town. If you,
Oh,
yeah,
We can
that-
also drop off the Godman there too with the Queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you guys,
Also, couldn't
ahead.
we ask our friend, what's his face, the elder dude, if they have like any horses or something.
That would be another
We
Right.
good
got
point.
our dragons, don't we?
Oh,
No,
that's a
not
good
anymore.
point.
No, the
Not
dragons are
anymore.
gone.
Got fine steed.
Hey, same. We could, yeah.
I can probably have someone else on the horse too. At least one other person, probably.
So we can carry.
I can get us some horses if you want.
So, I mean, the ultimate choice is which place do you want to go? If you go through the forest, you could probably get the centaurs to help you get you all the way to Abertify. If you go north, you're pretty much riding horses the whole way.
Let's ride centaurs. Oh my god. Please, can we go through the forest? Also, we can drop that guy off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also the
Let's
other
do that.
reason.
Hell
Butterfly.
yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to go to
All right, I
Abertify
got-
next
yeah.
session. Alright,
I gotta get going. I'll see you guys later. That was a fun sesh, though.
alright, yeah, later, Khaled.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Alright.
you too. Yeah, welcome all our new players. Good times.
Welcome, guys. Glad I played with you.
Such an interesting thing. Alright, thank you players for playing, thank you watchers for watching. I hope you enjoyed this pure randomness that is Thursday nights. Stay tuned next week as they continue on to Abertify and attempt to begin the continuation of the siege of Raadar and the changing of the minds of the Nemesi race as a whole.